Headed there by Hoyland. Here's Robinson. Yes, 1-0 for Bury. Liam Robinson doesn't miss those. 24 minutes. Liam Robinson for Bury. Bury 1, Hibernian 0.
Robinson evades the markers. There's two. Here's McElroy. Chance for McElroy to cross, and it's come all the way to Hoyland, and Hoyland has scored the first goal on the far post. There wasn't a single Wolves defender prepared to clear the ball, and just a half-hit cross from Sammy McElroy left Jamie Hoyland on the far post with the easiest of chances. And that to silence the massed ranks of the Wolves supporters. Again, it's cleared by Robertson. Here's Bull to relieve the pressure, just gives the ball to Valentine. Leaves it to Hill. Hill chips in. Hoyland plays this down, and Robinson's here, and Robinson scored the second goal for Bury. It's right on half-time, and Liam Robinson has opened his account for the season. The Wolves defence didn't pick anybody up at all. Played inside by Hill, a header down by Jamie Hoyland. None of the Wolves players went for the ball. It's squirmed free on the far post again. Questions must be asked against Andy Thompson. Here's Davy Lee. He's running again at Thompson, a bit of shirt pulling. And Bury, after 65 minutes of today's game, have won their first corner. A corner which David Lee is going to take. Bury players run to the back of the box. It's taken long. It's a header. It's a goal. It's a goal from Charlie Bishop. A magnificent header from a corner from David Lee. The perfect response to the header from Street some 4 minutes earlier. Fantastic goal from Charlie Bishop.
Robinson. I think this is where Bury could be rather more dangerous to Wrexham. Liam Robinson, 1-0. Good goal by Liam Robinson. And I think that's where the danger is going to come from Bury, rather than playing balls in the air. That's the first real through ball that the Bury player has had and gone for goal. So Liam Robinson scoring for Bury. There's McElroy. Chipped in. Lee, it's in again. Yes. Jamie Hoyland. Bury go back into the lead. It's Leonard. Player's not quite sure what's happening there. Chance for Bury. David Lee scoring for Bury. And the goal's given. 54 minutes, the equalising goal for Bury, David Lee. So Bury back in the game. It's McElroy, I think, to take the corner for Bury. And that's a penalty. That is a penalty, is it? That is a penalty. Stopped on the line, I think, by number 2. From the header from Bishop, it was stopped on the line, I think, by the number 2, Neil Salathiel. So Bury have a penalty. So it's make or break, this one, for Bury, because this would pull things level at 2-1. Not sure who's going to take it, whether it's going to be Robinson or McElroy. It's going to be Liam Robinson for Bury. And that's 2-1, and that brings it back all level. And that's in the 72nd minute of this game here at the racecourse ground. So Bury have a corner. About a minute remains of this first period of extra time. Good header by Hoyland, and it's a goal by Wayne Entwistle. And that's a dream come true for the lad from Bury, because he's got the equalising goal that pulls it back at Wrexham 2, Bury 2. Wrexham 2, Bury 2, so Bury now have an advantage of scoring 2 away goals. Chance for Pashler here. Lee. And that's a penalty. So Bury in turn have a penalty. So it's now all on Jim Brown, see if he can do what his opposite number Simon Farnworth did in the Bury goal. And I think it'll be Liam Robinson who will take this penalty. So there's 7 minutes to half time. Can Liam Robinson put Bury back on level terms? He has done. So 7 minutes to the interval. It's Chesterfield 1, Bury 1.
Liam Robinson, the Bury scorer.
There's Lee. Ashley. Finding Valentine with a good ball. Great chance for Bury to score. And it's a goal from Peter Valentine. He took it well, he waited. And Bury go into the lead here at Saltergate. 21 minutes in the second half.
This is Bishop. Chance for Robinson. Lee. Lee with the shot. This is Elliott. It must be a goal from Elliott. And Elliott's got Bury 1-0 up. 38 minutes gone. And Steve Elliott has made a home scoring debut. The shot came through from David Lee. The deflection fell into the path of Elliott, and Elliott skipped round the goalkeeper and put Bury 1-0 up. It's Lee, and they scored! David Lee pounced on the ball that came through. Following the jump by Liam Robinson, the ball ran free, and David Lee pounced straight away and drove the ball past the goalkeeper. Hill plays the ball to Lee, a chance for David Lee to attack for Bury. It's approaching the edge of the box, he shot, it's a goal! David Lee scored for Bury! 7 minutes into the second half, they allowed David Lee to run at the defence down this right-hand side. Neil Poynton failed to mark him closely enough. And when David Lee shot, the ball went over the head of Neville Southall and into the back of the net. This is Hoyland. And Hoyland with a chance, it's the equaliser! Jamie Hoyland has pulled the equaliser out of the bag. Some 8 minutes from time. Throw in for Bury to Hoyland. Forward to Elliott, and there's a chance for Elliott. Elliott's been brought down, and a penalty has been awarded by Mr. Lupton. Elliott, making his way into the box, was brought down, and the referee, Mr. Lupton, blew immediately. No doubt in his mind. So it's Liam Robinson versus John Smoulders. Liam Robinson has already scored from the penalty spot against Wrexham this season, and also also in the league game against Chesterfield. So, can Liam Robinson score his third penalty? Sends Smolders the wrong way. And Bury take the lead by 1-0 with 14 minutes showing on the watch. This is Robinson, turning well in the box, puts the crossover, and Elliott! Put Bury in front. Liam Robinson managed to twist and turn on the right-hand side of the penalty area, and his cross gave Elliott the simplest of chances. This is Parkinson, good play to find David Lee. Cross comes over, Robinson. Robinson's turned and chipped. McElroy! It's a goal from McElroy! Liam Robinson provides the goal again for McElroy. A lovely turn and cross, and there were 3 men on the far post. But McElroy shouted that the ball was his, and puts Bury 3-1 up.
From Bolton Wanderers. Chase here for Elliott, and that's put out for a corner. It's Walker, the Gillingham player, puts that one out for a corner. So McElroy with the corner for Bury. Onto the head of Peter Valentine, and that's hit the bar, and that is 1-0 to Bury. Liam Robinson, I think, but it was the head of Peter Valentine from the corner which hit the bar, bounced down, and there was Liam Robinson to put Bury in the lead. 7 minutes, so Bury 1, Gillingham 0 here at the Priestfield Stadium. Happy with the way things are at the moment. McElroy, I think, with the kick. Quickly taken. Off. And that's 2-0. Oh, what a good goal. And Elliott was involved in that. And he flicked it on. And Bishop was there to put the ball away for Bury to make it 2-0. And that's come after 17 minutes play. So a tremendous start here for Bury. 2 goals in the first 17 minutes, and Gillingham all at sea. Palmer's kick. This Hoyland for Bury. Chase for Robinson. Here's Robinson for Bury, and he's put it away so well. 3-1, right on half-time. Liam Robinson put that one away so well on our watch, 46 minutes. So Bury restore their 2-goal lead here. And right on half-time, it's Gillingham 1, Bury 3. Bishop, Greenwood. Finding Andy Hill on the far side. Here's Liam Robinson. Oh, that's a penalty. Without a shadow of a doubt, Liam Robinson brought down in the box. And I think it's going to be Liam Robinson to take this penalty and try and score a hat-trick. And 1 or 2 supporters away on the far side can't even bear to look. Here's Robinson with the penalty for Bury. And it's a goal for Bury. Yes, Liam Robinson has scored his hat-trick. And that's the first hat-trick away from home, as I've been informed, for I think 18 years.
Bowing play on, and Bury again attack this time through Charlie Bishop. The ball's with McElroy to Robinson. And Robinson has lost out. Wilkie has got his notebook out and he's going to book Danny O'Shea. It's for an incident which I didn't see, but it must have involved Charlie Bishop, because Charlie Bishop was the player who ended up on the ground. And in fact, Danny O'Shea would appear to have been sent off. This is quite sensational. He hadn't been booked before. He's walking towards the tunnel, and whether it was something that Danny O'Shea said to the referee, Mr. Wilkie, I'm in no position to comment on, but he's coming now towards the tunnel, and Southend have been reduced to 10 men. They have got some 24 minutes of this second half in which to survive, and Southend's players immediately surrounded Mr. Wilkie. They wanted to know why he had been sent off. So it's a free kick to Bury, and it's one which it looks like Charlie Bishop is going to take, but no, he doesn't. Leaves it for Robinson. Robinson shot! What a fantastic goal from Liam Robinson! Oh, he's broken the deadlock just 30 seconds after Danny O'Shea was needlessly sent off, and the hit struck the ball perfectly from some 25 yards out, and the whole crowd is on its feet to applaud the goal. United, he's going to have to do it within the next quarter of an hour. A long ball forward with something for Liam Robinson to chase. Robinson has got the better, and it's a shot, and it's a second goal for Liam Robinson. So 2 goals in the space of a few minutes for Liam Robinson. Has turned this going round for Bury. He struck off the challenge of Portrush and calmly slotted the ball past the oncoming Paul Sampson. So a hat-trick on Saturday down at Gillingham, and it's 2 goals tonight for Liam Robinson.
Here's for offside by Sheffield, not given. McElroy. Oh, he's hit the post. Chance for Liam Robinson. Bringing it back to 2-1. And it was the effort by McElroy that struck the woodwork and rebounded out for Sammy McElroy, for Liam Robinson. And the goal coming after 57 minutes. And that's just what Bury needed to get back into this game, a little bit of a foundation. It was a spectacular effort from McElroy, which hit the post and bounded across the goal for Robinson.
Yates towering above Robinson. Clements finds Bishop. Bishop forward to Elliott. Elliott to McElroy. McElroy to Robinson. Robinson trying to set Hill free. Hill gets the crossover, and it must be a goal! Diving header from Jamie Hyland. What a fantastic goal! Andy Hill, his never say die attitude in trying to get to that ball, which would appear to have been going over the line, was rewarded by a superb cross and diving header from Hyland, which has put Bury level to Farnworth. The Chester defence, Lee's behind the defence, he's crossed the ball, and a simplest of goals for Jamie Hyland. "23 minutes gone, and Jamie Hyland opens the scoring for Bury. It's Bury 1, Chester City 0. Headed back by Hill. Hyland, this is Greenwood. Robinson. Trying to set Lee free on the right. It's a fine ball to find David Lee. Must be a chance of a goal. Here is the headed goal. Nigel Greenwood. But you must give credit to the superb through ball from Liam Robinson, which set David Lee free on the right-hand side. Felgate's long kick. This is Clements. And he finds a white-shirted Bolton player. Parkinson in a strong tackle with Ian Steve Thompson. Hoyland, Robinson. And Robinson fouled by Dean Crombie. It'll be a free kick for Bury just inside the centre circle. This is Kenny Clements. 21 of the 22 players are inside the Bolton Wanderers half. Over comes the free kick. Headed on, this is Elliott, and Elliott put Bury in front, 1-0. Only 10 minutes gone, nobody picked up Steve Elliott, and he had the simplest of chances to turn and score the opening goal. It'll be a goal that Elliott most definitely wanted to score against his former club. It's Farnworth bringing the ball out again, playing upfield, looking for Elliott. Leonard will have a chance of a shot. Oh, and he's gone straight through the hands of David Felgate for what must rank as the softest goal this season. And Gary Leonard, just on the stroke of half-time, has put Bury 2-0 up here at Burnden Park. Well, that's Gary Leonard's first goal. It's Bolton 0, Bury 2, which leaves Bolton with everything to do in the second half, and Bury will just be content to presumably sit back on the lead, strike when possible. Bishop. Headed back by Winstanley, back again by Parkinson. This is Crombie. Hoyland finds Elliott. Elliott with a good turn. Plays the ball off to Hill. Elliott shipping forward. Hoyland with the header. This is Leonard. And Leonard, and it must be for Elliott. And Elliott's put the third one in. The first minute after half-time, and Elliott has scored the second goal. And just look at the delight over on the far side on the terraces to the Bury contingent. By Clements, and Parkinson will have a chance to bring it forward for Bury, and in fact it's 2-on-2 and the ball's played forward to David Lee. He's beaten the offside trap. There's only Phil Neal back. Liam Robinson's desperate to get in the box. This is David Lee, surely must score, and this is Parkinson, and Parkinson has hit the bar, and it's gone for a penalty. In fact, David Lee has been brought down for the penalty. I was concentrating more on the ball than the player. Looked odds on that David Lee was going to score before being brought down. The referee, I think, delayed blowing the whistle till Parkinson had shot, but his shot hit the underside of the crossbar and came out. And on the far side, the referee is stopping, I think it's Barry Cowdrill, from arguing with the linesman. I think the Bolton players feel that that should have been offside when the ball was played forward to David Lee. It left Phil Neal very exposed, and Lee had the pace over Phil Neal. David Lee still down. The question must be asked now, who will take the penalty? Will it be the regular penalty taker Liam Robinson, or will they give Steve Elliott a chance to gain a hat-trick on his return to Burnden Park? It's Robinson who stood in the position to take the penalty, though. Steve Elliott checking on the fitness of David Lee. David Lee's back on his feet. In fact, it will be Liam Robinson to take this penalty. 75 minutes gone, a chance for Robinson to make it 4-1. He's got David Felgate in front of him. He shoots, and Robinson has made it 4-1. Robinson delighted, he goes over to Elliott, Elliott congratulates him, and surely that must kill off this second half Bolton revival.
For the third and fourth division sides this afternoon. It's headed there by Hankin. Here's Hill. Parkinson in strong there, so's Robinson. And Robinson doing well for Bury, finding David Lee wide on the right. The referee allowing play on. There was a foul on Liam Robinson. Here's Lee. Good play this by the winger for Bury. Good cross. And that's the opening goal from Phil Parkinson for Bury this afternoon in the first minute. And it was good work by David Lee that puts Bury in front. The cross for Phil Parkinson to make no mistake. So goal number 1 for Bury in the FA Cup first round here at Ayresome Park after 2 minutes play.
Sammy McElroy with the free kick, it's gone over. This is Elliott, surely a chance for Elliott, and Elliott put Bury 1-0 up. There's only 2 minutes on the watch gone. Nobody picked Elliott up. He had a chance to chest the ball down and put Bury 1-0 up. This must be a shock for Bristol Rovers, 6 consecutive home games to Farnworth. Robinson, there's Yates, Bishop. Elliott looking for Parkinson, and that's an own goal by the number 8 Andy Rees, straight over goalkeeper Nigel Martin's head. And with 16 minutes gone, it's Bristol Rovers 0, Bury 2. Lee had a quiet afternoon here at Turton Park as David Lee. Hoyland wide to Bishop. Robinson, McElroy, Elliott to Bishop. Bishop goes round wide, over comes the cross. Parkinson trying to get his head on the ball. This is Robinson, Elliott, and Elliott has scored the third one for Bury within 1 minute of letting that goal in. It's Bristol Rovers 1, Bury 3. And Elliott has scored his second goal, and this immediately brings on the Bristol Rovers substitute. Elliott, Hill forward to Robinson. Robinson has been brought down in the area, awarded a penalty. Certainly looked a 50-50 ball. Both players ended up going down. The referee immediately awarded a penalty, and it's just on the stroke of half-time. So Robinson it is to take this penalty. And that's it, 1-0 to Bury. Nigel Adkins gets the right way. Robinson had placed the penalty beyond his outstretched fingertips.
But he says he's okay. And Bury have another corner. So that's 5 corners in the first half. So the corner for Valentine's header and finding it. The goal! It's Liam Robinson. So Bury are back level from the corner. After 37 minutes, Bury are back level. Liam Robinson from the corner of Sammy McElroy. And it's Huddersfield Town 1, Bury 1. Elliott winning that one for Robinson. Here's Elliott. Elliott's equalised. Steve Elliott for Bury. And it was initially Elliott that won the ball from the goal kick from Godden, and it was Robinson who played it forward for Elliott. He took it round the keeper, stumbled a little bit, but eventually regained his composure and put that ball in the net.
Lee inside, finds Hoyland. Hoyland back to Lee. They're looking for a good cross from David Lee. Header, and it's there! The last minute goal from Liam Robinson. Oh, I'd say Phil Neal will not be very impressed with that. Parkinson. McElroy. Side to Robinson. Robinson leaves the ball for Parkinson. Cross comes over. Hoyland's there! I'd say Jamie Hoyland! 22 minutes gone. Bury 1, Bristol City 1. Valentine's header. Robinson, McElroy sets Lee free. He's in the area, is David Lee, and he's been brought down. That must be a penalty. Drama here in the 60th minute. Liam Robinson versus Keith Waugh. And that's it! 2-1 for Bury. David Lee brought down in the area on one of his surging runs, and Liam Robinson dispatches the penalty confidently enough to Keith Waugh's left.
Waugh's getting a tackle in, but it's still Bury on the attack now with Phil Parkinson. Oh, that's a good ball in behind the defence to David Lee. Looks as though the equaliser is coming now with Robinson. Great goal. Questions being asked all around the Blackpool side there, and really that was a soft goal. But McElroy, Lee in space on the far side. McElroy looking to play it through to him. Has to make sure that he stays on side. That's a great pass. Lee turns it across, and that's a superb goal. They take the lead, and that is all due to a vision of Sonny McElroy, the position of David Lee, and the finishing, I think, there of Steve Elliott.
Robinson wide to McElroy. McElroy with some space on the left, making his way into the penalty area. Surely a chance for Robinson, and Robinson has broken the deadlock. Fine run by Sammy McElroy, and in the first minute after the interval, it's Bury 1, and it's Swansea City 0. Parkinson wide to Hill. Hill to Lee. Lee will lay the ball back to Hill's path. Forward, good run by Parkinson. He's only early ahead of him. He waits to cross the ball. He's waiting for support. Robinson. Oh, great save! And again from Robinson, and Robinson scored! And Robinson has put Bury 1-0 up. 35 minutes gone. A great save from Mark Grew, but Robinson put in the rebound fantastically. Bishop. Back to Hoyland again. Chip forward for Parkinson. Leaves it for McElroy. McElroy looking to get across. It overcomes the cross. Headed out by Riley. Here's Beckford. Immediately in was Clements. Parkinson, long ball to Lee. What a fine ball to Lee. Lee, and Lee's put Berry 2-1 up. What fantastic control. Beautiful through ball from Phil Parkinson, and the supporters on the far side go wild with delight. "70 minutes played, Port Vale 1, Bury 2. Here's Lee. He's got Hughes in front of him. Takes Hughes on. Gets his crossover. Oh, and that must be a goal, surely, from Elliott. Oh, and it's off the line by Elliott. Everybody stood still expecting the referee to give handball, and eventually Elliott's chance was cleared off the line. And really, Bury should have sewn this game up. They've had 2 or 3 opportunities since they've gone 2-1 up. Here's McElroy with the corner. Headed on by Hoyland. Robinson's header. Oh, and it's there! And Robinson has put Bury 3-1 up with just 5 minutes remaining. Round with the pass, and in turn McElroy finds Bishop. Oh, lovely pass from Bishop to McElroy again. This is Parkinson. Robinson's header. Robinson again. And his shot from Robinson. Oh, and it's gone in! Oh, what a goal from Liam Robinson! His 50th league goal for the club in under 2 years. 39 minutes gone. It's Bury 1, Fulham 0. Clement back to Hoyland. Eventually Hoyland finds Lee. Lee, lovely clip on to Robinson, and Robinson back to Lee in the box. And Lee has been given a penalty for Bury. The challenge on David Lee. And Walker and Stannard are protesting with the referee. The referee has made his decision, and there'll be no change in that. The challenge was by the number 6, Jeff Eckhart, and still Eckhart is arguing. So Liam Robinson has this chance to put Bury 2-1 up. Only a minute after Fulham had struck the equaliser. Here's Robinson. And Robinson doesn't disappoint the crowd. Bury 2, Fulham 1. With the throw-in. He's looking for movement ahead of him. Here's Elliott. Elliott. Wide to Bishop. Bury coming forward again. Bishop, and Bishop's cross comes in. Hoyland! And there's the third from Jamie Hoyland! Oh, what a lovely header! And Fulham now are arguing amongst themselves who should have picked Hoyland up. And the player that should have picked Hoyland up must surely have been Jeff Eckhart. But Eckhart is in fact still in the dressing room, having been sent off. Shaping up to take the free kick. Chip forward. Ball being brought out by Morris. But Bishop claiming it for Bury. Robinson. First chance for Robinson, and it's there! Oh, glorious goal from Robinson! A near identical goal to the one he scored last week, which opened the scoring against Fulham. There was nothing on. He just turned and from 20 yards hit the ball into the top left corner, and Cherry never even saw it. By the penalty area. Here's McElroy. Elliott! Oh! Struck Morris, and Morris clears. Quickly taken to Lee. Lee's flighted cross towards Hoyland. McElroy! It's a goal from McElroy! He's picked one of the ball boys up on the far side in his delight. What a lovely goal from McElroy on the volley. And what a splendid floated cross from David Lee. So Bury take the lead. 56 minutes played. Bury 2, Chesterfield 1. Helps the ball on to Lee. Bury streaming forward in numbers. And Lee's stayed on his feet with that challenge from Richardson. And eventually Richardson forced to put the ball out for a corner. And with 5 minutes to go, Bury have got to start taking chances from these corners if they are to come back with at least a point. Hill's header. Hoyland! It's there! And Hoyland has equalised for Bury 5 minutes from time. Corner from Lee was headed on by Hill, and Hoyland's back header beat Phillips from 6 yards. Forward to Elliott. Lee. Lee will again take on Rathbone. Wins the corner. A corner which he himself will take. Preston North End 0. Challenging for the ball. This is Hill for Bury. McElroy. Bishop going on the overlap. Here's Bishop with the cross. That was just over the top from Dave Martin. So Bury start this half with their 4th corner. It's a clear shot from Elliott, and Elliott's put that home. He was totally unmarked on the far post. And 3 minutes into the second half, and Bury level the scores. Forward for Greenwood. Hoyland gains the ball for Bury, plays it wide to Pashley. Pashley to McElroy. McElroy inside to Robinson, finds him with a lovely ball. Robinson has to check before putting over the cross. Cleared by Smith, on as far as Hoyland. Hoyland's shot takes a deflection! And Jamie Hoyland has opened the scoring right on the stroke of half-time. That's behind the goal. The very black puddings are being waved. Said before, but they can't make the progress they want. This is Robinson. Lovely ball for Lee. If Lee can get to it, he does. He's round the defender. He slipped just at the wrong moment. And in fact, the referee has given a free kick. It certainly looked to me as though Lee had slipped. Oh, Berry won't argue with the free kick. Lee to take it. Over it floats. The header! It's there! It's there from Wassell! And Darren Wassell has scored the equaliser 15 minutes into the second half. Brentstead got his left hand to it, but he couldn't keep it out of the back of the net. And that's Bury 1, Sheffield United 1. Forward by Valentine, finds Robinson. Robinson brought down by Roger Gibbons as he turned. This is Lee. Cross comes over from Lee. Headed by Robinson. Dropped to Elliott. And Elliott got the ball in the back of the net. 4 minutes on the watch. Kearney unable to keep the ball in play. Greenwood. Leaves it for Valentine. Chip forward, header on by Robinson. Hoyland. There it is, the equaliser from Hoyland. Parkinson. Lee, lovely turn and shot from David Lee. He's struggled under the body of Paul Sampson, and David Lee has got the goal he really deserved earlier on.
Gig Lane last Saturday.
More than just a touch of the dynamic duos around at Gig Lane. Just 28 seconds gone when Mark Hilditch unmarked scored from Dave Thompson's cross. But more neat wing trickery from David Lee for the Bury equaliser, providing Jamie Hoyland with a service at the far post. 1-1 just 2 minutes later. Hilditch and Thompson again combining on 90 minutes. Close in effort, putting Wigan 2-1 in front. But Bury not to be outdone. The Lee-Hoyland duo working again in tandem. Lee reaching the byline. And a deft little finish at the near post from Jamie Hoyland, leaving the points shared.
Like a bit of gossip, keep an eye on Wigan Athletic's Paul Beasley, Stoke, West Brom, Middlesbrough and Walsall.
The Wimbledon way, the Watford way. Bury's relatively new manager Sam Ellis believes it's the right way.
The Bury manager Sam Ellis firmly believed in the long ball game at previous clubs Watford and Blackpool. His centre-forward Tony Cunningham was a major part of that policy with the Seasiders. But now with Bury, Cunningham denies the up and under has been brought along too.
We play a lot of football. The reason being, the gaffer inherited footballers, you know. The lads here, they're very good footballers, they're good on the ball. And I think he's let them play. And we've decided to play the way, you know, that they're used to.
Regardless of style, Bury going well against Chester. Jamie Hoyland put them ahead, his 4th of the season. 3 minutes later, David Lee made it 2. A beautiful touch to beat Stewart. Bury on their way to their 2nd win on the trot. Midway through the second half, they got a penalty. Liam Robinson brought crashing down. The man himself, Tony Cunningham, made no mistake, his 4th of the season also. But Chester have won only once in 9 games, and hearts, if not hopes, were lifted when Sean London scored an amazing volley, lob, shot, fluke, whatever. It was enough to deceive Gary Kelly. But Bury's fourth, if not quite long ball tactics, certainly created by Cunningham's aerial presence, but not down from the big man, and Chris Wyth eventually getting the final touch. 4-1, Bury go third.
Well, in Pomo position for the rest of the day's news, Clyde Tilton.
Well, Gig Lane stages the top match in Division 3. Bury in third, unchanged against second place Bristol Rovers. The division's top club, Tranmere Rovers. Remember the Bros boys from last week, the look-alike Bolton striker? Rob McCaffrey went down to Gig Lane to wave them off.
Bury on their travels, full of confidence after their midweek victory away to Blackpool. A Liam Robinson penalty, good enough to keep Bury up with the third division front runners. Remember, Robinson's the striker who was looking to leave the club last season.
I thought with a break in the summer, 1 or 2 clubs might come in for us, but obviously that didn't happen. And so I'm quite happy to stay now, yeah.
Robinson was left out of the side at the beginning of the season, but now Sam Ellis has brought him back. He's refound his goal-scoring touch.
He's smashing at the moment. If we can keep it going, I mean, it's still very early doors yet. If we can keep it going, I should think we might have a chance there and thereabouts end the year.
So Bury looking to stretch their unbeaten run to 9 games, and they'll go top tonight if they win.
Certainly the top of the third division is a pretty sight for North West eyes at the moment. Third place Bolton from replay.
To an unusual goal on 50 minutes. Keeper Gary Kelly injured as Andy Sussex challenged. The referee Bob Hamer said no foul and awarded a drop ball when the keeper recovered, and Chris Cutler profited for the first goal. Watch again closely. Sussex definitely catches Kelly with an elbow. Bury should have had the free kick, not a goal against. No doubt about Crewe's second, though. Manager Dario Gradi encourages skillful football. Cutler picks out Walters, who's made the good run on the far post, his first of the season, but just 1 win now in 6 games for Bury. Crewe made it 3, 8 minutes from time. Powerful run, Andy Sussex. Cutler again supplying the finish. May have been deflected, but Crewe climbed to 16th, their highest position so far this season.
And Bury could have to deal with David Fairclough from the start tomorrow. Tranmere already without John Morrissey have a doubt over Jim Steele too.
They're beaten 4-0 by Tottenham in the week. Looked the sharper early on. Martin Pike's wicked cross, the cavalry arriving just too late. David Fairclough, starting his first game for Tranmere, has to impress with competition for places at Prenton Park hotting up. His strength began the intricate move for the first goal. Hughes, Martindale, Hughes, Fairclough, Hughes, Martindale, Muir. Time to go it alone. Might as well with everybody backing off. Coming up, a good strike. Deflected off Peter Valentine, beating Gary Kelly. 7 minutes gone. Dave Martindale preferred in the side to Eddie Bishop. Second, a lot more simple. Harvey's long throw. The looping header from Chris Malkin, good enough to beat Kelly this time. Steve Vickers following up, not needed. Malkin in his favourite central role, getting his 10th of the season. Bury have won just once in 5 games. They began an amazing comeback. A real contrast in styles. They prefer the simple, direct approach. David Lee showing why. Jamie Hoyland, Liam Robinson beating Nixon to the touch for his 8th of the season. Second half, another simple goal. Scrappy in the middle, but credit to Tony Cunningham, the big striker, doing well to hold off Steve Vickers twice before finding the perfect cross for Charlie Bishop on the far post. 2-2. Bury really had a grip of the game at this stage, but Tranmere should have done better from Jim Harvey's free kick. Malkin getting above Tony Cunningham, but unable to direct the header. Coming up, a controversial penalty decision. Cunningham again may have been fouled by Dave Higgins there, but he looked to shove Steve Mungle there. Referee Steve Bell giving him the benefit of the doubt. Liam Robinson beginning to enjoy himself now. His 9th of the season, 75 minutes gone. 2 minutes later, the simple style yet again. Cunningham inevitably with a flick. Mungle's mistake. You've got to be quick to catch David Lee, though. Eric Nixon did, no doubt this time. Robinson choosing the other post. 4-2 Bury. Tranmere conceding 4 goals for the second time. in 4 days. That win lifting Bury to 3rd in Division 3, level on points now with Rotherham and Notts County. Tranmere slipped back to 5th.
Rob McCaffrey reporting there. And in a few hours' time, the focus...
A good winger when he sees one too. So in his new part-time role as kick-off scout, he's been along to watch, assess and evaluate Bury's David Lee. One for the future or not?
Mick Mills should know one or two things about tricky wingers as a former England fullback. His brief this time to assess Bury's flying machine, David Lee. At 22, Lee's been interesting a number of top clubs. Clearly, he has a number of strengths.
He's got a good touch. His control is very good. He's very quick, and he is very able to go past the fullback most times that he takes him on. He shows very good speed when he does it, and he gets by, and his crossing is of very good quality as well. And that certainly is his strength, and he can do it many, many times during the game.
No doubting that Lee is quick. Time now for Mick to assess his weaknesses.
He doesn't like coming inside, and with him being very good at going down the outside, obviously on occasions a good fullback will show him the inside, and he doesn't come in with confidence. He won't take the inside if it's shown to him, and you should always do that. You should have enough variation in your game if you're a winger. When he does, he doesn't look the type of player to me that can combine with other players. He's often got his head down, concentrating very much on the ball, and he doesn't really see the picture quickly enough and early enough. And I think his definite weakness is when he comes inside, or even when he's forced inside. He's short of ideas.
Lee's been in sparkling form for Bury this season, so how much is he worth?
My valuation would be about 175 at this present moment, but then he is young. He played very well on the day that I watched him, and if he could produce that form on many occasions, then obviously the price would go up. But I do feel that certainly he is a player that will have to step up gradually, and because of that, then I think the fee would be a little bit lower than normal. If he convinced me he had a bit more about himself in the overall context of the game, then I think that you could certainly say that a first division club would be interested. But I think with this player that he might have to go to the second division before he goes on to the first division. So that's why I would say somewhere in the region of about 175.
Well, some interesting pointers there from Mick Mills on Bury's David Lee. Clive, what you got for us?
Well, Scott Sellers, the man that you were talking about and Howard Kendall may be thinking about, is back on duty. Tranmere and Bury swapped 3rd and 5th places in the Division 3 promotion race. Dave Martindale's deflected shot, Tranmere moving crisply into an early lead. They were 2 up inside 15 minutes. You wonder why footballers play so much head tennis in training? There's your answer. Chris Malkin claiming his first goal for 2 months. This was the key goal in the match, though, against the run of play 6 minutes before the break, set up by Lee and Hoyland and expertly taken by Liam Robinson. It gave Bury a foothold in the game, and they just kept on climbing. The brute strength of Tony Cunningham fashioned the equaliser early in the second half. Any volunteers to mark him? Charlie Bishop volunteers to turn in his cross. 2-2. Tranmere was still looking the most likely when they conceded 2 penalties in 3 minutes, the first of them dubious to say the least. Cunningham again, he looked the more guilty to me. Mongol penalised though. Disputed. But Robinson calm amidst the storm. 3-2. The second penalty more clear-cut for me. Our scouting report subject David Lee giving us another reminder of his pace. That's one way to stop him. Eric Nixon, the goalkeeper, was unable to get his hand to the penalty though. Robinson completing his hat-trick by finding the other corner. Rovers' first home league defeat in over a year. Now, John McGrath spent £120,000 in...
This evening, Bury, Bolton and Tranmere Rovers. Here's Clive Tilsley.
The top club, Notts County, were thrashed on their own ground by Bury last Saturday. Andy Feely squeezing the first of 4 goals past some patacake goalkeeping. Some beefcake attacking from Tony Cunningham was again a feature of another imposing away performance. Once you get him pointing in the right direction, he's just about impossible to stop. Not sure you could say the same about his shot, but I wouldn't like to be the one who tells him. His aerial power has never been in question. The proverbial towering header picked that out. Bury are clearly a team equipped to follow the direct route that Wolves and Sheffield United took to promotion last season. Jamie Hoyland made it 4. Bolton also played in red at Tranmere last weekend. They saw red when a penalty was awarded for Martin Pike's sharp tackle on John Morrissey. Rovers probably deserved a goal at that stage of the game, but it looked a little unjust all the same. It looked very unjust when Ian Muir slotted in a penalty which equalled Tranmere's club goal-scoring record. But 3 goals in 16 second-half minutes continued a significant move by Bolton over the holiday period. Julian Darby first to benefit as Tony Philliskirk turned provider for the day. Darby and Steve Thompson took a gradual grip on midfield. Barry Cowdrell's helped out there too recently and helped himself to the second of the 3 goals. And soon after, Bolton's extra drive and Thompson's strong running set up the best goal from the 2 games. It was Wanderers winger Stuart Storer who made it 3-1 with a screamer. This is how the table looked when the dust settled. Remember, 2 go up automatically, the next 4 play off for 1 promotion place. 3 local teams in the frame, but how many will make it? We commissioned a half-term report from the manager of another local 3rd Division club, Wigan Athletic's Brian Hamilton.
Well, I think there are 3 things, Clive. I think that money is going to be an important factor. I think the type of system they play, the pattern of play, and I think also have they done anything before, which gives them the confidence, the encouragement to go on and do better things just now.
Now, Sam Ellis's Bury are heading the local challenge at the moment. What do you make of them?
He is very good in the lower divisions and has certainly had the promotion with Blackpool and kept them going. I feel that the team they have is a very strong, powerful side. Plus also they have come up with some money to buy players, and I think that that is going to be important, that Sam spends the money at the right time and picks the right player.
Centre forward Tony Cunningham is the key player for you.
Well, I think he intimidates people, and that's an important thing about his game. I think if you try to be subtle with him and play balls to his feet and try and make him into a complete football centre forward, I think you wouldn't get the same strength from him, the same aggression that is needed in a player of his shape.
Bolton Wanderers are currently 5th. How do you assess Phil Neal's team?
Well, I like Bolton Wanderers' blend a lot. I think that they've come through a very difficult time in November when they had a lot of injuries, and they stayed with the pack. Phil has changed it around completely. He was having a very difficult time. They went to Wembley, they won the cup, and he hasn't looked back. And I like his side. And I think up front, Philliskirk and Reeves are very important. I feel that if he had maybe a little bit more down the flanks, then they would be almost as good a side as anything in the 3rd Division.
The 2 men you like in the Bolton side are Steve Thompson and Julian Darby, their midfield men. What is it that they give them?
Well, I think they're very strong. I think that they both can pass, they both can tackle, they both can head. And the nice thing is that they supply some goals as well. Both very good shots. And I feel that if you can get goals from other parts of the park rather than your 2 main strikers, it's a big plus.
Tranmere Rovers, your old club, have faded recently, but they've taken giant strides under Johnny King.
Well, I think they've done fantastically well. I think the nice thing that for John has been the system he's played. I think he has picked the perfect system for the players that he has. He has made not bad players play very, very well. I think he plays a lovely attacking football style. My worry is, do they do it often enough? Tranmere are going to have to learn how to mix it a little bit with regards playing their football, but when it comes to physical, they have to overcome teams like that and go on and win the matches.
Interesting you've singled out their goalkeeper, Eric Nixon, as the key man.
Well, I think that the goalkeeping position is possibly the most important position on the pitch. And I would think that he, possibly outside Muir, had the biggest influence on them getting promotion. I think he, this season, has probably been the biggest influence on them staying in the promotion race in the 3rd Division. And if anything happened to him, then I think Tranmere might have a little problem.
Right, Brian, it's decision time. Where's your money going?
I would say that Bolton will gain promotion, or have the best chance of gaining promotion, because they have got the blend and the balance. I think Bury have the 2nd best chance because they're very strong, very physical.
Alan and Gary, brothers on active duty and on opposite sides for the very first time. Now, it was such a special occasion for the Kelly clan that Dad, Alan Sr. flew over from America to be there. We were too. Here's Clive Tilsley.
Preston goalkeeper Alan Kelly clears his lines. Waiting at the other end of Big Lane, his elder brother, Gary Kelly of Bury. Yes, it was an end-to-end game for the Kellys on Saturday. Watching from the stand, the eyes of a proud father. The eyes of Alan Kelly Sr. was looked at on Wembley Stadium on FA Cup final day. He was in the Preston side, beaten in the final seconds by West Ham 25 years ago. Nobody's played more games for North End. Few have played more for the Republic of Ireland. His goalkeeping sons are in opposition for the first time, and Alan has flown in from his adopted home in the USA to chart their progress with us. 23-year-old Gary played in the First Division with Newcastle, where a lack of height was given as the reason for his £60,000 sale to Bury in November. But Dad doesn't dwell on what he lacks.
Well, he's very good hand, you know, and he reads the game quite well. Gary started at a very early age, right from school, and he developed through playing with North End schoolboy team.
North End scored the first goal of the game against Gary, Warren Joyce in the 18th minute.
The lack of inches thing that people will always level at Gary, and I guess probably level that you want to put it.
Well, I'm 6'1.5" inch, but I remember playing against Eddie Hopkinson and Ron Springett and Eddie Hodgkinson, who were only 5'7". I don't think height comes into it. I think if you're good enough and if you're quick enough, be in the right position at starters, you get there. And looking at Gary today, when we talk about height guys, I see him come and take it across and to be way above the 6 foot and to take headers.
At the other end, 21-year-old Alan is short of experience, not inches. 2 broken legs have fractured a career which started much later than Gary's.
Well, Alan left school and he never played in goals. He just used to play everywhere in North End, 16 team, full backs. And I think he got short of a goalkeeper one day and put him in, he didn't do too bad.
There was nothing Junior could do after half an hour of Saturday's game when Bury skipper Andy Hill forced an equaliser past him.
I really tried to talk him over at the time, seeing that he'd worked hard to get a job in Leyland Motors and he was only starting. But he kept at me, and so I said, well, have a go. Alan will settle down when he gets a few games under his belt, and he'll make mistakes, but we do have a chat about things, you know, and try to help. But that's why I'm glad to see what positions he took up for us ahead of dealing with shots, and we have a little chat after. So to say, no matter how well you play, you'll always improve your performance.
What sort of a father is it encourages his sons to become goalkeepers? It's the most dangerous profession in the world, isn't it?
Well, we don't think so as goalkeepers right throughout the world. Like every goalkeeper has the understanding he's the best player in the team, because he's the only player in the team that can't afford to make a mistake. And I think that builds great character in the people. I didn't force them into it, they just wanted to do it, and I helped them a little bit.
Dad was in no position to help Gary when Brian Mooney scored Preston's winner shortly before half-time. But before flying back to Washington, he was able to offer a few words of fatherly encouragement to the offsprings who are hoping to continue the Kelly keeping line all the way into the Ireland World Cup squad.
They both have played in the youth team, and Gary's played quite a lot under 21, so Alan's played maybe 1 or 2 games. So they've been in there, and I'm sure that if they're doing their stuff in the club level, they'll be recognised.
You've come a long way to this today. Has it been worth it?
Oh yeah. Very proud to be both of them playing. Very.
You wanted to come every week now, Alan, weren't you?
Great day for the Kellys.
Last week, goals from top scorer Eddie May and Dean Holsworth suggesting that all the good work being done away from home for Bury could come to nothing. Sam Ellis took the players to a hotel overnight last weekend. His latest trick comes in the form of 2 new faces. Striker Dean Spink comes in on loan from Aston Villa to cover for Tony Cunningham, and Mark Patterson arrived in a swap deal from Preston with Nigel Greenwood. Robbie Savage joined...
McElroy is the new player coach there. And Frank Worthington is back to pass on his tricks of the trade. Nobody does it like Frank.
I don't know about you, Elton, but I hate show-offs. What I hate about them is they can do a million things that I can't. But here in Preston, they've got the master showman to come and teach the strikers
a few tricks that they've never seen before.
Frank Worthington won't be playing for Preston. He's simply going to spend 2 days a week there, passing on the secrets of football's magic circle to their young forwards.
This is what we're looking for, a little bit of magic, a little bit of skill. You've created the space for yourself, a little, defenders can't defend, brilliance.
North End manager John McGrath paid money for Frank's brilliance 3 years ago when he was still a player. He's been a devoted fan ever since.
I love working with him. He's my best signing I ever made. I've felt I needed some experience, and there's nothing better than Frank Worthington, because for me, his uncontaminated skill.
All right, what I'm going to do, boys, I'm just going to knock balls into you. I want to see a little bit of magic from you. Imagine the defenders there marking you, so you've got it to do to get away from him. Again, the first touch is vital, isn't it? Just nice and slowly, that's good. That's good.
He took the centre forwards all yesterday, got them how to turn with it and how to bend it into the top corner rather than blasting it all the way into Charlie. I'm being a bit selfish, really. I brought Frank so I can see him as well, you know, in the training. I've looked forward to coming in this morning. I've put a five-a-side on so I can go and watch Worthy.
John McGrath isn't alone in his admiration for Frank Worthington, but is he really the man for the relegation fight that North End are now facing?
He's first here and last away, you know. And he was when he played, when he came here as a player. And you know, the funny thing, he asked me a question. And, you know, we got promotion with Frank Worthington, you know. So I don't think he's an out-and-out luxury.
Really one of the greatest showmen of the past 20 years or so. Right, let's have a quick look at the fixtures in the region this weekend. The home games at Everton, Manchester City, Oldham and Port Vale. In Division 3, Bolton, Crewe and Preston, for whom Nigel Greenwood, Sammy McElroy and Mike Stowell all make their debuts. Tranmere against Birmingham, that's tonight, 7:30 at Prenton Park. It's Wigan at home to Leyton Orient. And in the 4th Division, Burnley and Wrexham at home. But we leave you tonight with Preston's new double act, Frank Worthington and Sammy McElroy, the way they work. Good night.
Allardyce's throw. Ball's header, Gowling under it. Worthington now from Gowling's header, and Worthington! And what a beautiful Worthington goal!
Sent off against Bury last week. Now, you could have well done without that.
Yes, but these things come in to try you. I mean, that's why we think we've got...
Bling never played at Warsaw. Keith Birchin's still knocking him in, though. Following up, just to make sure. Bolton just can't seem to put a decisive run together. David Felgate did well to keep out the first attempt, but the defence was given plenty of warning. On take 2, Keith Birchin got the line just right. Just when Bolton looked to have got it right, they self-destruct. Perhaps they need a helping hand. Phil Neal won't mind how they get the goals, as long as they get them soon and more frequently.
Bury's David Lee doesn't require any help when it comes to causing havoc, but Blackpool gave him some all the same midweek, down by George Wood. The Blackpool keeper was up to Mark Patterson's penalty, but Lee had started, so he finished. Patterson had the final say, though. He seemed to be running up a blind alley, but he'd seen a way out. Wood saw it too, but couldn't do anything about it. Bury unbeaten in 4. Crewe were unbeaten in 14 when they called in at Bristol. Smart caught in possession, caught hold of a shirt. Gavin caught hold of the penalty, although Grey Goose wasn't far away from catching a bit of glory for himself. The City striker, Bob Taylor, is a goalkeeper's nightmare at the moment. A hat-trick took him to 34 goals for the season. He's a routine finisher. If chances come on the ground, he knows what to do. If they come in the air, he knows what to do. And even when there's no chance, he still has what it takes. The crew rarely leave an opponent's ground without something to remember them by. Even Taylor's efforts were upstaged by Aidan Murphy's spectacular consolation goal. Bristol City's spectacular win leaves them in pole position.
Well, nonetheless, Crewe still amongst the possibles. Good to see Bury still hanging in there. It was around about this time last year when it all fell apart after Martin Dobson left the club. If they miss out again, it won't be for lack of stability.
I think the managers put up, made us fight a lot. I mean, we had a bad run. We had a bad run of 9 games where we didn't win. And for us to come back from that has shown a lot of character from the lads. The managers helped us, and I think we'll be there at the end of the season.
How do the fans react to all this? The crowds don't seem to change, do they?
Well, no, I've been here 4 years now, and they've tried everything to get people to come down and watch us. And unfortunately, I don't know why, they just don't seem to react.
How does that affect the players?
Well, you know, you need atmosphere to play and play well, and sometimes it's hard to generate it yourself after a long season, and really we could do with a few more coming down and getting behind us.
Unfortunately, we're represented at the bottom of Division 3 as well. Things looking bleak for Blackpool. Preston's recent form, though, has been more encouraging.
Saturday, neither could afford to lose, neither did. Stuart Storer met Paul Comstead's cross a little more convincingly than Eric Nixon. Wanderers one up at half-time. But Tranmere, with one defeat in 19 games now, are still shooting at the top 2. Ian Muir is still shooting straighter than anyone else in the division. Mind you, his striking partner Jim Steele gives him more opportunity than most. Muir doesn't pass many of them by. They finished 1 goal apiece, but not 11 men apiece. Rovers substitute Eddie Bishop is the type who usually leaves his mark on a game. This time, he left it on a leg. A red card for an attack of the Red Mist. More than 10,000 at Prenton Park for Monday night's game with Preston. Tranmere launching themselves towards a 13th consecutive home win. Steve Mungall launching himself at Jimmy Harvey's cross. That's his one a season, worth hanging round for, aren't they? You ain't seen nothing yet, though. Coming up, a thunderclap of a goal from North End's Warren Joyce. Altogether, too much calm before the storm in the Tranmere defence. Joyce in as fast as lightning. He won't strike like that again for a while. Actually, I tell a lie, because here it comes again. Slower this time, Eric Nixon still can't get near him. But in the field of replays, Ian Muir's the man. Time and time again you see it. Steele's set up, Muir's spike. The leading scorer for the Football League's leading scorers.
Nobody enjoyed Easter as much as Sam Ellis and Bury. Leyton Orient first up. Bury still finding their feet when Terry Howard gave up on the subtle approach. Nice one, Terry. David Lee provided the danger to Orient all afternoon. He supplied the ammunition for an equaliser. They toyed with the finish for some time before Alan Nill put them out of the misery. Unfortunately, Nill's defending not equal to his attacking prowess. In fairness, a host of Bury defenders stood and watched Mark Cooper get the decisive touch. There's a couple of flyers in the Bury front line. They respond to the call of over the top. Phil Parkinson hijacked in no man's land. Jamie Hoyland rewarded with a free shot from 12 yards. The execution clinical. But Orient couldn't really have done their homework. The lesson they seem to never learn is to wait on David Lee, because once he's there, he's gone. A couple of minutes left when he rounded things off, Bury thundering along the playoff tracks. Meanwhile, the wheels are beginning to fall off for Bolton. They give themselves every chance, then trip at every turn. They had most of the game at Blackpool. They even had the lead. They thought that Phyllis Kirk's header would be good enough. 4 minutes left, 4 minutes to change the season. Felgate flapped as Gary Brooke wrapped in a lifeline. Then Brooke turned the game inside out for David Ayres' winner, leaving Bolton heavily on self-destruct.
Has the team lost its nerve?
No, emphatically not. We just seem to be hitting
a period where we're playing teams from the bottom end of the division or the top end of the division. There's always something in the game. So at the moment, we're battling for our lives, and hopefully the results for the next 5 games, we should go okay.
What's it going to take to get Bolton back on the rails?
A good win on Saturday, obviously. The next 3 points are always the most important, and we've got Shrewsbury at home. I don't think we've got anything to fear there. So the next 3 points, obviously. We've beaten Bury at home, we've beaten Notts County at home, we've beaten Tranmere away from home. So there's nobody to fear, as long as we can... It's at the moment, it's just ourselves we fear. If we can put our results up, I think we can go all the way, no problem.
Phil Brown talking there to Wayne Garvey. Tranmere in action tonight. A tasty occasion, a right old Lancashire hot pot.
This is the biggest game of the season, and our fans will forgive us a lot of sins if we can come out on top.
It can go away from tactics really when you come to a game as important as this one, and it's just a matter of rolling the sleeves up and getting the commitment right.
He can try all sorts. He can play things down, he can build things up, but in the end it depends on the character of the players. You can try all sorts. If the players haven't got the character, you don't do it.
You've used this word pressure. It's the most overused word in football. What is it? How does it manifest itself?
It's when expectations and anticipation around you is high and you've got to go out and deliver it.
When you don't score goals, then obviously then the dressing room spirit and the training room spirit is up to the manager and the staff to actually keep it bubbling and keep making them believe that they're the same players that they were when we started this campaign.
You've reached the playoffs. Is that cause enough for celebration?
In that it's the best season the club's had for a good few years, yes. But as far as we're concerned, professionally, no.
Yeah, I don't know whether 25 years in the game, if it happens to be that way, whether my experience within the game could stand a penalty shootout at Wembley. But I'll take my chance if it does.
You're a hard man, Sam Ellis, aren't you?
Realistic.
When are we going to see you smile? When it's all over?
Yeah, if we've got anything at the end of the day, I'll try my best for you.
Already have, Sam, more than you know. Well, Tranmere's last chance there, along with Notts County or Bolton, who got the point they needed last week at Swansea. For Bolton captain Phil Brown, opportunity knocks.
Well, I'm praying for the rain in California, so the grapes can grow and they can make more wine.
Crooning your way into the playoffs, Bolton captain Phil Brown relaxing at his pub. Brown's planning to appear on a regular basis of an evening. He's always harboured ambitions.
If you tie it in with a footballing career, I suppose you're on a stage when you're on a park, and I'd love to be on a stage, you know, and having sort of 10,000 people in your hand, and, you know, what do you do with them? Yeah, I'd love to be a rock star, mate.
Brown's hit a couple of high notes on the pitch this season too. He's never played in the second division though. At 31, promotion means more to him than most. Bolton play Notts County on Sunday. They beat them convincingly at home in March, 3-0. Derby, Philliskirk and Reeves with the goals.
I think the psychological advantage is with us at the moment anyway. They're favourites to go up, so all the pressure's on them, and we've been under pressure, and all of a sudden we're in the playoffs now, so we've got everything to play for, and, you know, really fancy ourselves on Sunday.
Brown's lifted a trophy at Wembley before, the Sherpa van last year. It's an experience he could get used to.
The memories at Wembley are fantastic. To play there again would be another fantastic experience, but actually lifting the trophy at Wembley, I mean, goes down in history.
And the music takes me back to Tennessee.
A return to Wembley is what Bolton are after. Phil Brown will be singing sweetly if they perform against Notts County on Sunday.
It's 3 games to get into the second division and the lads are feeling confident. All I can say to the Bolton fans, we're going to go for it.
Drink of me. I said, a little old wine, drink of me. I said, a little old wine, drink of me.
Well, rumours that Phil will be leading the community singing at Wembley tomorrow are totally unfounded. Steve Coppell will be delighted to hear that. He's still with us. On now to Bury against Tranmere. 3 months since that controversial meeting at Gig Lane.
Playoff football's a stiff examination for players and managers, but what about referees? Bury went into the lead against Tranmere in February with a crisp Jamie Hoyland goal and believe to this day that they should have stayed there. Did the man in black really see whether Phil Parkinson handled there or not? He saw Ian Muir's penalty all right. He also saw Bury's Liam Robinson. He sent him off. No arguments with the quality of Tranmere's winner, though. Chris Malkin has given us all some spectacular moments this season.
Right, let's move on very quickly to the 4th division. Stockport will have home advantage in the second leg of their semi-final against Chesterfield. The other tie there is Cambridge against Maidstone. Now, but for Southend winning away on Saturday, Stockport would have gone up automatically. A very strong finish over the final furlong with 4 successive wins.
Stockport's late run a little too late. A victory at Halifax only good enough to unlock the playoff gate. Neil Matthews flashing shot, flash past Scott Barrett to put Halifax 1 up at half-time. Danny Bergara, though, believes his side are playing as well now as at any other stage of the season. Confidence, he figures, is the key. Even in the biggest of games, Stockport continue to play the football patiently. Chris Beaumont finish off the move. The football is skillful too. They left it late, but it was worth the wait for the 3,000 fans who made the trip. Ian McInerney's left foot left the promotion door open, but Southend's victory at Peterborough slammed it shut.
Best of luck to all our playoff teams, Sunday and Wednesday. Incidentally, we've held over the result of last week's quiz. A tremendous response, but we'll announce the winners next week. Top prize, of course, 6 places at Nike's Summer Soccer School in Oldham. Well, finally, this week, the best of British playing...
Dora. After a 1-1 draw at Bolton over the weekend, County were always favourites tonight, and it should have been all settled before the break. Phil Turner's free kick setting up another panic in the Bolton defence. A season's best 15,000 had come to watch 2 of the oldest Football League clubs chasing the playoff final. And Bolton improved after the interval, but midway through the second half, Kevin Bartlett was released to score Notts County's second of the night, making it 3-1 on aggregate. Now they're going to Wembley for the first time in the club's 128-year history.
Yes, Notts County comfortably through to Wembley then. Their opponents will be Tranmere, 2-0 winners over Bury tonight, the first leg having been goalless. Well, we've seen 2 of the oldest...
The majority of players in the lower divisions have never been to Wembley and probably never will. Same applies to quite a number of players higher up the scale as well. Now, it just goes to emphasise what a remarkable achievement it's been for Tranmere Rovers to get there twice in the space of a week. This Sunday for the Leyland Daft final, a week on Sunday for the playoffs. Not bad for the club that was regarded for so long as the poor relations on Merseyside.
I don't know what all the fuss is about. Tranmere Rovers have been promoted to the second division before, you know. 52 years on, a revival movement is in full swing on the Wirral Peninsula. The men behind the revival haven't kicked a ball since they took control of a bankrupt club heading for the foot of the 4th division 3 years ago. But Chief Executive Frank Corfe and his chairman Peter Johnson have scored heavily in Tranmere's victory against the odds.
When we arrived 3 years ago, we said that we had a 5-year plan to get into the second division. Well, we are almost there after 3. I would imagine that we should be able to get to the first division in the next 5 years.
When do you think the average gates have gone up from 1,500 to over 8,000?
the souvenir shop turnover's gone up from 5,000 to 150,000. The turnover of the club's gone up from 150,000 to 1.5 million in the current year. It is, all that has come from people of Wirral. It's not come from us. That money has all come from the people of Wirral, and we're more than grateful.
For a long time this season, it seemed that Tranmere would show their gratitude by winning automatic promotion at the first attempt, but fourth place left them facing the playoff ordeal. Last Sunday at Bury, they had enough quality and enough of the game to have won. But amidst keeper Gary Kelly's defiant heroics, Tranmere's outstanding individual this season, Eric Nixon, made an outstanding save himself. The first leg ended goalless. Johnny King and his players still on course to complete the next stage in the chairman's master plan.
I don't have to go out now. When the phone rings, I don't worry. I mean, when somebody offers me $250,000 or $500,000 for a player, I don't have to worry because I don't have to sell.
Sometimes if you're playing well and you're getting success, it's better to stay put and get carried along with that. And I mean, Eric Nixon, people of his stature, Ian Muir, Stevie Vickers, for example, why move away? You know, when they're having a fantastic time here and the success is terrific, 2 Wembley appearances now, why go anywhere else? You won't get any better.
More than 10,000 were inside Prenton Park for Wednesday's second leg to see if it really could get any better for Jimmy Harvey and Johnny King's team of all-stars. Shortly before half-time, Chris Malkin's leggy pace forced the opening that gave Tranmere the opening goal of the tie. It was no more than they deserved, no more than is now expected of them. Bury had their moments, but not nearly enough of them. Without the groundswell of traditional support for the game that Rovers have so successfully tapped on Merseyside, their only chance was to harry and hinder and hope. Their Wembley hopes disappeared when a linesman signalled a penalty against Phil Parkinson for handball midway through the second half. Ian Muir has scored more league goals for Tranmere than any other player in their history. Shortly before 9 o'clock, he scripted another chapter in the remarkable recent history of the club. Another stage of the chairman's master plan successfully completed. Johnny King and his players are making his pipe dream come true.
It's just something that you get carried along with. You know, the players themselves start to believe in it, and when you say it often enough, well, it's just a matter of fact. Oh, we'll be in the second division in 5 years. You know, that's the attitude, and it's just blossomed and snowballed from there, and we're on a run at the moment, and when you run like this, you just, it's a habit, and I don't know, it can just go on and on.
Where will it all end?
Well, let's hope it never ends.
The one thing I can never come to terms with is this word consolidation, because that means that you go out on the pitch to win half of them and to lose half of them, and we go out on the pitch to win them all, and if you do, then the first division's got to be your objective.
I can see in the next 5 years that there will be a third major football club on Merseyside, and by that I mean a third first division club.
Bill Shankly used to say that, you know, consolidation, the word doesn't exist. The Rovers' renaissance. Sadly, it only applies to Tranmere and not Blackburn.
This season, the message from County was that the playoffs were unjust, unfair and unfortunate. Bolton, they said, had nothing to lose. When George Courtney awarded a penalty against them, they were convinced that Bolton had everything to gain. Despite the frenetic pace and nature of the playoffs, patterns do emerge. County looked dangerous from corners in both legs. Gary Lunt's header made it 1-1 at Burnham Park. There was just 1 minute gone at Meadow Lane when Tommy Johnson benefited following another corner. The message for Tranmere is to beware of the set pieces. Rarely were Bolton troubled in open play. When they began to chase the game, they looked the stronger side. Phil Neal said County were frightened. Naturally, gaps appeared as Bolton pushed men forward. Kevin Bartlett's pace will trouble any side. It finished Bolton during the best spell of the game. 62 games in a season, the faces reflected the tiredness, the dejection, despite a second-half performance that really could have changed the whole picture.
Well, you said you never get a better chance to be in the second division, and I think everybody took a spur from that.
What does it mean to you now? You've just lost.
Can't tell you, Rob, can't tell you.
Have you ever had a moment like this in football?
No, I haven't.
Stockport County's thrilling run at promotion from the 4th Division was bought by Chesterfield's Calvin Plummer. He'd never scored a hat-trick before. He picked a fine time to start. 2 in the closing minutes of the first half at Saltergate last Sunday opened the wounds in County's injury-hit rearguard. Big Andy Morris didn't miss the absent defenders one bit. He teed up Plummer's second. It was one of those days when everything he hit stayed hit. County were in the top 4 most of the season. 4 straight wins to end the season should have been enough to push them straight up. Plummer caught them in the playoff trap. A pure hat-trick, 1 header, 1 right, 1 left. The final first leg blow was delivered by John Ryan, popping up in unknown territory and popping in the 4th Chesterfield goal. The disappointment of missing out on automatic promotion had maybe been too much. But in the Edgeley Park return, Ryan returned to the attack and Plummer's luck in front of goal returned too. Record receipts of nearly £27,000 couldn't compensate County. Danny Bagara just couldn't give the fans their planned Wembley away day.
Well, after the break, the answers to our quiz of 2 weeks ago and the World Cup, which is exactly 3 weeks away.
Had all but doused the flames of the Burnham Park return, but teenager Alan Stubbs added a bit of spark, scoring the opening goal and winning man of the match. Goal of the match belonged to Huddersfield's Kieran O'Regan, though. 1-1 inside 20 minutes, a real clout he gave that. But sadly all was overshadowed by Mark Winstanley sending off. His all-or-nothing lunge at Keith Edwards was his last contribution of the evening, stepping into the grey area of the professional foul. The last line of defence has to be doubly careful these days. Chris Marsden's penalty was careless enough for David Felgate to save, and the final act was played out by 10-man Bolton when David Reeves' shot was saved. Julian Darby gobbled up his 3rd goal of the tie, won 5-1 on aggregate.
Bury had to come from 2 behind against Bradford following the first leg. The fight back was instigated undercover. When David Lee eventually brought things out into the open, Robinson and Ronnie Mauger showed us all what they're capable of. Sam Ellis's sides have never lacked the ability to battle, though. Aerial bombardment's always been a favourite strategy. Skipper Peter Valentine's the type who'll go on leading from the front all night, his header leading Bury into extra time. But it was Bradford's Sean McCarthy who proved to be the busiest man of the extra 30 minutes. 2 goals and plenty of action from a player who cost £250,000 from Plymouth. McCarthy thought he'd sealed it when he made the aggregate score 3-2, but really he was only getting into his stride. He was almost getting into his stride when Peter Valentine cut short the route to goal. Valentine couldn't really complain, sent off for a second bookable offence. McCarthy hadn't finished though. Denied by Valentine, he earned Bradford a penalty courtesy of Phil Parkinson's hand. Looked a little unfortunate, but McCarthy was too deliberate with the approach and side foot Gary Kelly keeping the tie alive. Tony Cunningham's been wrapped in cotton wool all summer to get on the end of the Bury bombs. Neat footwork shuffling the scoreline to 3-1 on the night, 3-all on aggregate. But the Bury winner wouldn't come. Sean McCarthy slotting Bradford into round 2. Not a bad way to finish before a 2-match suspension.
Well, just to complete our Rumbelows Cup round, boy Ronnie Moden, who went ahead after 30 minutes, Steve Thompson heading in Stuart Story's cross. Now, Bury's equaliser bore all the hallmarks of manager Sam Ellis's ingenuity when it comes to dreaming up set plays. Mark Patterson's marvellous shot made it work. And it was Patterson's corner that led to Alan Nill putting Bury in front with a looping header, things looking ominous for Bolton, who haven't won there for 61 years. But they got back into the game. Watch closely, Tony Cunningham adjudged to have handled the ball there, a lot of arm waving, but I doubt whether he actually made contact. Tony Philliskirk then with the penalty, and his 3rd goal in 4 days, 2-all the final score. Well, that wraps up kick-off tonight. The Rugby League boys. Everton at home to Queen's Park Rangers. Game of the week, Sheffield Wednesday against Oldham. Oldham's unbeaten run and league position could be enough to persuade Joe Royle he's better off at Boundary Park. Nick Henry with the first. Paul Warhurst to David Curry, and a goal that almost put the game beyond Wednesday. Oldham setting the pace and the standards in Division 2. And that's just about all for this week. So, one of the most exciting Saturday afternoons of the football season coming up with the 3rd round of the FA Cup. The clubs from the top 2 divisions involved for the first time. Liverpool are the cup favourites. They start with a trip to Blackburn, as they did 8 years ago. Rob McCaffrey reporting.
In Blackburn, the focus has fallen on the ability of Bobby Mims to deal with the might of the Liverpool attack. The focus on their actual ability to win the game will fall upon a more tried and tested source. It's the return of record signing Simon Garner that might just ruffle a few Liverpool feathers and jog a few memories of the last time the two sides met in the FA Cup 8 years ago.
Miller. Garner!
Last time we played him in the FA Cup, I scored against Liverpool down here. I scored down at this end, at the far post from a corner.
Good one, was it?
It was a good one, yes.
Garner's been an injured spectator most of the season, and Scott Sellers hasn't played at all. Now both could be back peddling their trade against Liverpool after pedalling back to fitness.
Went to Lillishall and everything to the fitness place here, and then when we came back, we went to see the specialist, who recommended that we ride bikes, me and Scott. And a local bike shop lent us 2 mountain bikes for a month, and we was riding on them every day, which was funny, to say the least.
What was it like? Uphill and down dale? It's a bit round here, isn't it?
It is round here, but luckily I could ride along the canal every morning when it's flat, but it was harder for Scott up the hills.
Sellers has scored against Liverpool too in a Littlewoods Cup game a couple of seasons ago. Now manager Don Mackay is set to give both a run after both came through a reserve game in the week. The Sellers touch and the Garner instinct for goals, a double boost for Blackburn against the champions and league leaders.
Does it say something about Simon Garner that 8 years on, you're still the man most likely to score a goal for Blackburn Rovers?
I hope it does. 8 years, it seems a long time since I last scored against them, but I'm just happy to be playing football still, really. And scoring goals.
Very experienced lineup Blackburn have got against Liverpool tomorrow. Bobby Mims, Kevin Moran, who knows? Great appeal of the third round is really typified by the tie between Burnley and Manchester City. Burnley going well in the 4th division, City going well in the 1st. I've got one of those feelings, nothing more than that it could be City's year. But there's also something about Sunday's game at Turf Moor that's giving me second thoughts. Anyway, let's join up with Rob McCaffrey again.
Oh, hi, welcome to Burnley. Let me introduce you. Ron Futcher, you probably know. Hello. John Francis, both strikers. Manchester City will know all about them on Sunday. They've 19 goals between them this season. Francis, the junior partner's really caught the eye with his pace and ability to do the unexpected. He was released last season by Sheffield United, Dave Bassett preferring to stick with Brian Deane and Tony Garner up front. Francis now believes a good performance against City will prove to Bassett for one. He could have done it in the 1st division.
I felt like I've always been good enough to get back into the league. Well, just to prove him wrong, really. I can play in a better division than I'm doing now. And hopefully on Sunday it's a good chance to show what I can do, really.
Ron Futcher's in his 2nd season at Burnley. He's scored goals wherever he's been, including Manchester City, where he spent 10 months in the late 1970s. He'd love a result against them on Sunday.
Well, we always draw big crowds and they're always anticipating, you know, something to happen, and on Sunday it's a one-off game, 11 against 11, and we've been going well in the league this season. Good home record, so there's no reason why we shouldn't do well against them.
Shannon, Hartford, what a lovely move again to Ron Futcher, and that's number 3. What a beautiful City move.
You know, we had Peter Barnes, Gary Owens, Tommy Boo, Watson, Willie Donachie, a lot of great players, and I enjoyed being part of that.
Futcher's now helping Francis make his name with Burnley, though Francis has the confidence and self-belief to make his own breaks and create his own problems. He says himself it's the easy ones he misses. Francis doesn't usually score tap-ins, messes Redmond and Henry beware. Francis and Futcher leading Burnley back into better times. A 20,000 sellout at Turf Moor on Sunday tells you that. When was the last time you played in front of 20,000?
I can't remember. You got me there. Speechless.
Ron Futcher. 1 or 2 milestones this week, and congratulations to Everton's Graham Sharp. His goal against Chelsea on New Year's Day was his 111th in the league, which means in the Everton record books he's second only to the great Dixie. Everton are at Charlton in the Cup tomorrow. Sharp scored one of his best ever goals down there a couple of years ago. Not bad, eh? Well, we've had requests for a repeat showing of Tony Thomas's goal for Tranmere against Southend on New Year's Day, one of the fastest on record. As always, happy to oblige.
Want to see it again? 5 players involved, 6 touches of the ball, timed at 7.7 seconds. Well, Tranmere went on to beat the leaders quite comprehensively following that perfect start. Substitute John Morrissey had a night to remember as well, crossing for Jim Steele to set up Ian Muir, and his first goal in the league for over 3 months. That made it 2-1 following Brett Angel's equaliser, but Rovers wrapped it up with the best of the four. Morrissey the scorer this time, on a night Tranmere got their timing right in more ways than one. And that's all from me tonight. Bobby, you...
here are the first 3 results. Birmingham City 2, Fulham 0. Nigel Gleghorn with one of the goals. Bournemouth 2, Reading 0. Both the Bournemouth goals to Andy Jones. And Brentford 2, Preston North End 2. That keeps them in trouble. And at Gig Lane, Bury against John Bond Shrewsbury, who had a fine cup run this season. Bury 4th this morning, but a long way off Grimsby in 3rd place. Bury having a good run and scoring good goals. Mark Kearney finding David Lee out wide, and Lee going solo after that. That's supposed to be his weak foot. Well, Shrewsbury's equaliser just after the break. Tony Kelly's free kick deflected off Roger Stanislaus, who really didn't know too much about it. Now, Mike Walsh is doing a remarkable job in charge at Gig Lane since Sam Ellis left and the entire squad was put up for sale. The winner following a free kick, which broke for Stanislaus. Knew what he was doing there all right. Whatever David Lee's intentions, maybe we'll never know for sure. But 2 for him and 3 points for Bury. Yes, 2-1 Bury. Chester 4, Bradford 2, a couple for Carldale. Leyton Orient 0, Cambridge 3. Mansfield 4, Bolton 0. That after Bolton going 23 league games since their last defeat. Rotherham 1, Grimsby, now in 2nd place 4. Swansea 1, Southend 4. And finally in the 3rd division to Springfield Park, where both Wigan and Tranmere are aiming for the playoffs. Tranmere with a more realistic chance, but without goalkeeper Eric Nixon tonight, starting a 3-match suspension. And it started and continued goalless until 2 minutes from time when Ian Muir scored a very well taken goal following Neil McNabb's pass. Right, well, let's have a little look at the top of the 3rd division now, see exactly where that leaves Tranmere. I do know that Bolton have slipped down a place into 3rd position to be replaced by Grimsby. And there we are. Tranmere still outside the playoff positions, which are currently occupied by Bury, Brentford, Bournemouth and Birmingham. And the bottom of Division 3, Preston, just 2 places off the relegation positions, having lost tonight, but Crewe are still in one of those automatic relegation positions. Right, let's have a look at the results in Division 4. Of course, Stockport and Burnley have been involved all season. Aldershot 1, Hartlepool 5, Blackpool 3, Scarborough. Steve Harper, the Preston substitute, is chasing the ball to the byline. It's nicely fielded by Paul Newell, the goalkeeper, has it well under control. A little bit of divilment by Harper, knocks it across. Graham Shaw joins in the fun and knocks it in. Blow me, the referee gave a goal. Goalkeeper certainly seemed to have it under control. I'm sure it was nothing sinister by Graham Shaw, nothing unsporting. I think it was just a bit of fun. Graham Shaw just knocking it in, and the referee, John Key, awarding a goal, much to the consternation of the... just behind the top 2. Bury, in particular, have had a fine week. But it didn't start too well against a Crewe side who picked up 4 points themselves this week. They're bidding to stay in the 3rd. Rob Edwards in the 3rd minute. 4 points from 2 away games. Bury would have settled for that beforehand, I'm sure. And the first of 4 goals in 4 days for John McGinley. David Lee's cross, it finished 2-2. Bolton beat Wigan 2-1 on Saturday. Wigan's Phil Hughes of the Bruce Grobbelaar School of Goalkeeping. It's all right in theory, but Hughes falling short on the practical. David Reeves to Scott Green to Julian Darby. Back to Burnden on Tuesday night and back with Bury, and if there were a North West League performance of the week, this would be it. John McGinley walks on water, mud too. Atrocious conditions. McGinley, Bury's £175,000 summer buy and recently on loan with Millwall, keeping up with a juggernaut of a run by Tony Cunningham and following up and cashing in on a huge slice of lady luck. Bolton pull one back, but having gone 23 without defeat, they've now lost 2 out of 3. Scott Green. Bury made sure, capitalising on Bolton's defensive uncertainty. Tony Cunningham making a right nuisance of himself, and that was McGinley's hat-trick. Right, Easter, what a week away. Everything's going pretty well on the old football front, Bob.
Yeah.
They're being forced to sell Tony Cunningham and John McGinley on transfer deadline day. But they still managed to beat one of their nearest challengers, Huddersfield, on Easter Monday.
6,000 at Gig Lane, trebling the average gate. Bury doubling their playoff chances with a neatly worked opener. Kevin Hume arriving at the far post, right on cue. Huddersfield equalised in simple, direct fashion. Steve Hardwick's long ball. A loan signing from Everton, Quinlan, finishing to please the majority of the travelling fans. Bury's winner was created by David Lee. He's one they couldn't get their hands on. Typical cross, Roger Stanislaus getting the timing of his first league goal just right.
Well, going into the Easter weekend, it was reckoned that Cambridge had a better chance of winning promotion than the boat race. Well, that's still on Sunday afternoon.
Tony Philliskirk has had a habit of scoring spectacular free kicks this season, and this one, after 32 minutes of their match against Birmingham on Sunday, set them on the way to an important victory. It was Philliskirk's 24th goal of yet another productive season, but he's not just a goal scorer, he's a goal maker. That cross for Julian Darby to head home 6 minutes later and give them a 2-goal cushion. But right on half-time, they allowed their concentration to waver, and John Gale provided Birmingham with a foothold. A foothold was all it was, and Bolton finally sealed the points with a Tony Cunningham burst and finish. Bolton stay third.
And Birmingham, incidentally, will be Tranmere Rovers' opponents in the final of the Leyland Daft Trophy. Tranmere going back to Wembley in that competition for the second year running. They won it last year. They lost 1-0 at Preston last night, but it was a comfortable aggregate victory, 4-1. Anyway, that victory for Bolton took them 4 points clear of fourth place, making Bury's task all the more difficult. Difficult enough against the leaders Grimsby at Gig Lane last night.
The numbers on the back of the shirts here in the Bury dressing room are a little misleading. They help visitors to Gig Lane identify the players. What they don't tell them is how much they cost.
Don't talk to Bury about the recession. Their average gates are the lowest amongst any of the third division's many promotion contenders. Since mid-season, every Bury player has been for sale. 4 key men have been transferred at a time when manager Mike Walsh's rivals have been buying. And he hasn't seen a penny of the £400,000 he's raised, nor is he likely to.
I can't see us in the near future having £100,000 to spend on a player.
Or 10,000?
I can't see us having 100,000. It just depends on who comes available and what our situation's like at the time. If we could raise £1 million by selling one player, then maybe we would have some money to go out and spend. It's things like that have to keep me going.
Miraculously, Walsh has kept Bury going as a promotion force. Last night they deservedly beat the league leaders Grimsby Town. A headed goal by skipper Peter Valentine gave them the lead. Bury scout Ian Greaves had noted Grimsby's far post marking in a previous game. Valentine noted his advice. Ironically, it was he who lost his opposite number, Mark Lever, for the Grimsby equaliser. Gary Kelly somehow keeping out the header, but not the follow-up from Tony Rees. 1-1 at half-time. On last month's transfer deadline day, Mike Walsh was playing should they stay or should they go with his prize assets as the offers came flooding into his office. He turned down £250,000 for winger David Lee, and in the second half last night, we saw why. Floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. A knockout goal in every sense, coming with just 15 minutes to play. Scouts from Liverpool, Everton and Manchester City watching on with itchy fingers. If they needed any further persuading, 5 minutes later, Lee did with his right foot what he'd done with his left. A breathtaking double, taking the game out of Grimsby's reach, taking Bury into fourth place in the table. The referee seemed to take pity on the visitors. Not content with missing substitute Mark Smith's handiwork, he saw fit to penalise Charlie Bishop's ball-winning tackle and cast Grimsby a lifeline 8 minutes from the end. Dave Gilbert's penalty kept it interesting, but couldn't keep Bury from making it 17 points out of the last 24. Quite a return for no outlay, and quite a tribute to a manager and the player from whom he refused to be parted.
Are you glad you're still here?
Yes, I want to get Bury into the second division.
You think you can go with them, yeah?
I hope so, yeah.
Because I tell you what, let's put a couple of bob on your price otherwise tonight.
There's been a lot of speculation, but as yet nothing's happened, so I'm happy to carry on my career at Bury until something does happen.
I'm afraid we're going to have to show those David Lee goals, which means more scouts coming down and more phone calls.
Got another $1 million for him. He's been in great form of late. Maybe the last 10 or 12 games, it's as good as I've seen him play.
We give him a little bit more of a free roll now, and he's certainly revelling in it.
I mean, one or two people thought he might be one of the ones who was out of the way last month.
Well, I mean, we said we'd show faith with the fans when Tony Cunningham and John McGinley went, and it was important that we did that we held on to David, because our troubles were eased slightly with those two going. And he's repaying us and he's repaying them with some quality goals at the moment.
Good decision, boss.
Thank you.
Well, there we are. Bury now in 4th place following that terrific win over the league leaders Grimsby, just behind Bolton and just ahead of Tranmere. Well, with goals like that and players like David Lee, it really is a mystery why the smaller clubs really do struggle to get the crowds on the boundaries of Greater Manchester. Stockport, another example. Big game at Edgeley Park last night against 3rd place Northampton, when Oldham settling for a point with their own goalkeeper John Hallworth also bidding for a place in the end-of-season Hall of Fame. Oldham finding it hard to win and yet proving hard to beat in view of the proposed Premier League. Promotion takes on added significance. 2 wins should be enough. Tranmere got off to a flyer against Rotherham a week ago. Johnny Morrissey with an individual goal, but Tranmere sent crashing by the bottom club. They're away to 2nd place Southend tonight, having clinched a place in the Leyland Daft final midweek. They'll play Birmingham at Wembley, who are on the receiving end of a Tony Philliskirk-inspired victory for Bolton on Sunday. Philliskirk's 24th of the season, goal scorer and goal maker in the first half. Julian Darby's neat and perfectly timed header. Tony Cunningham spent 3/4 of the season trying to get Bury up. He's now leading the Bolton charge, his first in identical colours. The sale of Cunningham and John McGinley enabled Bury to turn down £250,000 for David Lee. Existing on a shoestring budget calls for shrewd management. Mike Walsh clearly held on to the right man. Lee with 2 magnificent goals, defeating the league leaders Grimsby, first by the left and then by the right. Bolton and Bury separated by the thin white line, which represents the difference between automatic promotion and the playoffs, which all of a sudden isn't beyond Wigan, but more of that in a moment. Here's that man Bamber again, Blackpool's Dave, his 17th in 19 games. 2 straight wins for Stockport, the league's tallest player John Francis, all 6'7" of him, keeping his head and more surprisingly his feet to open the scoring. Andy Kilner's long throw, Francis up where the air's a lot thinner, and Chris Beaumont wrapping it up against 3rd place Northampton.
It's another 7 games to go, it's another, you know, like golf, another 7 holes. You could get bogey next.
You're not going to tell me you're going to take it each game as it takes?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. There's no other way to take it, no other way to take it. We face every battle as it comes, and we'll fight every battle, hopefully, the way we fought today. They were brilliant, them boys there. Fantastic.
Well, you can see why Danny Bergara was so delighted with that victory over Northampton. Burnley, in need of getting their promotion act together, are at Scunthorpe tomorrow morning.
Always sing when you're feeling in the dumps. Don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle.
Maybe not now. Yes, there is. A fantastic goal by Hughes.
For life is quite absurd, and death's the final word. You must always face the curtain with a bow. Forget about your seat, give the audience a
We've worked
grin.
their legs off, they've played some good football, and I'm so proud of them. They've done themselves a lot of... They've distinguished themselves as far as I'm concerned tonight. They're heroes now, they're legends.
How does this moment compare to the rest in your career? Oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened, I tell you. It's magnificent.
The celebrations had just begun. Well done, United. 10 minutes to go at Boundary Park. Oldham 2 down to Sheffield Wednesday. The Championship trophy poised for presentation at Upton Park. But hang on a minute. Goals by Ian Marshall, Paul Bernard and Neil Redfern sent a capacity crowd into ecstasy and Oldham into the First Division as Second Division champs. Here we go.
Always look on the right side of life. Come on, Brian, get up. Always look on the right side of life. Always look on the right side of
Stockport were one of 5 clubs who could have ended up as champions of Division 4 or settled with the playoffs, depending on other results. But they gave Scunthorpe what for and ended up as the league's top scorers.
Nothing will come from nothing, you know what I say? Cheer up, you old bugger. Come on, give us a quiz. There you are. See? In the book. Incidentally, this record's available in the foyer. So much more to live as well, you know. All right, it's the lot. Let's get this place up there. Change this man.
Out of the 4th Division for the first time in 23 years, Stockport. Well done to them. Well, for Bolton, Tranmere, Bury, Blackpool and Burnley, there's possibly another 2 weeks of the season to go. The playoff finals at Wembley are in a fortnight's time. Well, before that, the semi-finals on Sunday and Wednesday.
Bolton would have gone up automatically had Grimsby lost at home. They beat Preston with a towering header from Tony Cunningham and will now face Cunningham's old club Bury for a place at Wembley. There were 9,000 at Prenton Park, a game which looked on paper to be all set up for Tranmere. Bury's playoff hopes under even more pressure when Steve Cooper headed Tranmere in front. But Bury equalised through Charlie Bishop, and although they obviously didn't know it at the time, a win wasn't essential to take their season into extra time. Bournemouth and Wigan both lost, but Bury won it just for good measure anyway, and to put the frighteners on Bolton. Mike Sherron's first for the club. So the 3rd Division and 4th Division playoffs at Wembley on May the 31st and June the 1st could be all North West affairs. Highlights on Soccer Night on Wednesday of the first leg, and another opportunity to see the goals this time next week, along with the unofficial kick-off awards. Now,
For the best in British football. It's Wednesday, it's Soccer Night on Granada.
Soccer Night clubs and supporters are planning a convoy on the road to Wembley. The 3rd Division playoffs could be an all-North West affair if Tranmere join either Bolton or Bury. Blackpool are also hoping to be a part of the end-of-season Wembley weekend festivities. And so too are Burnley, if it's all right on the night of this very special Granada Soccer Night. Good evening. We could have one team at Wembley. We could have all 4 in the 3rd and 4th Division playoff finals the weekend after next. Now, what I can tell you at this stage, in the 2nd Division, Notts County have made it for the 2nd successive year. 1 goal was enough to condemn Middlesbrough to another season in the 2nd Division. Well, there you go, that Wembley feeling at Meadow Lane, where they were hosting 3rd Division football just over 12 months ago. County will meet Brighton for a place in Division 1. Well, Notts County survived the stress of the playoffs 12 months ago, winning at Wembley against Tranmere Rovers. They were very much the form team going into the playoffs, even though Tranmere had won there the week before in the Leyland Daft Trophy. According to manager John King, Rovers winning the one that mattered least. Now, geographically, County were the odd team out at the end of the 89-90 season, and the other 3 playoff sides, well, they're the same trio hoping to go up this season: Bolton, Tranmere and Bury. Now, Brentford are the odd one out this time around. Bolton, like Notts County last season, the team closest to automatic promotion. And they drew 1-1 at Bury in the first leg of the semi-finals. Bury's David Lee on the ball, Ali Mann on the mic.
Now then, he's away from Cowdrell this time. Can he beat Comstiff? He can. Can he beat Stubbs? No, he can't. He's brought down, and David Lee earns the penalty. Can he keep his nerve? He can! And Bury take the lead. Here's Stubbs. Oh, that's a good ball in, and Stanislawski in front of Cunningham. Here's Thompson. Oh, Kearney with the bad challenge, and it's a penalty. So Tony Philliskirk to put Bolton on level terms. It's 1-1.
It's more than 10 years since Bolton Wanderers have attracted a crowd in the region of 20,000 to Burnden Park, but this playoff derby with Bury highlights a most heartfelt local rivalry. Intensified this season by the defection of 2 Bury players to Bolton. Tony Cunningham here was the captain at Gig Lane before following Mark Patterson to Burnden in March. Patterson misses the reunion because of injury. It's the same Wanderers team that came from behind at Bury on Sunday. Indeed, 8 of them were involved against Notts County in last season's playoffs. Number 10, Tony Philliskirk, is the third division's leading scorer with 27. Phil Neal would dearly love to have had the name of David Lee on his team sheet, but although the entire Bury squad have been up for sale this season, they were able to resist Bolton's £250,000 deadline offer for Lee. His speed and skill, such valuable weapons to this team, also unchanged. Skipper Peter Valentine, released by Bolton 6 years ago, has faced his old club on 12 occasions since and never once been on the losing side. Such is the recent hold that Bury have had on this fixture. Watch your language tonight. Referee David Elleray dismissed Scunthorpe's Steve Lister for swearing at a linesman early on in Sunday's playoff match with Blackpool. The earbenders have been warned. The playoffs aren't everybody's idea of a fair deal. Bolton finished 10 points ahead of Bury in the final third division table and only missed out on automatic promotion by goals difference. But what a finale to the season. Burnden Park bursting with fans, bursting with atmosphere, and Wembley just 10 days away for one of these two teams. Charlie Bishop playing at right back for Bury. Looking long for Mike Sheeran. Free kick to Bolton, who collected 5 points more than any of the other playoff teams, 83 in all, enough to go up in Grimsby's case. But in each of the 4 playoff seasons, the third division team with the highest finish has won promotion via the playoffs, just as has been done eventually. It'll be 19-year-old Alan Stubbs with the free kick. Cutting him up with Valentine, who wins it. Header away by Parkinson. Here's Robinson. Brought down by Julian Darby. Darby, who played the second half as an emergency centre-back on Sunday, is a most versatile player, but he does most of his damage in the opponent's penalty area. 24 goals from midfield in the last 2 seasons. Colin Greenall with the free kick for Bury. Turned by Phil Brown almost inadvertently back into the hands of his Welsh international goalkeeper, David Felgate. Valentine's header, only for Paul Comstiff. Darby's in there, but Gary Kelly bravely down. Keeping alive a strong family tradition, the Bury goalkeeper. His father, Alan, Cup finalist with Preston North End back in 1964, and Kelly had to be briskly down to cut out Comstiff's cross. Good control by Kevin Hume. Kearney again. Sheeran making a run in behind Seagraves. Clever turn by Mike Sheeran. Chance here for Phil Parkinson. Darby was in the way. Sheeran again. Parkinson again. Couldn't link up with Stanislaus. Away by Thompson. Here's Comstiff on the break for Bolton Wanderers. Cunningham to his left. Philip Skirt to his right. Run off it by Liam Robinson at the expense of a free kick to Bolton. Robinson had a lot of ground to make there, and he's the second man to be cautioned. Thompson setting himself to go for the long-range shot. Phil Neal has been looking for Steve Thompson to try his luck from long range a little bit more in recent months. He does have a hot shot reputation, but it wasn't furthered by that effort. Header away by Cowdrill. Comstiff couldn't control it. Used his hand in the attempt. Sheeran. Another smart turn. Stubbs was just a little bit too strong for him, but he's given it back to Parkinson, and here goes Sheeran again, and this time it requires a last-ditch challenge by Seagraves to concede the corner. Short for Lee. Hume is there with a header. Smuggled off the line by Stuart Storer. Kevin Hume's header beat the hand of David Felgate, but Stuart Storer, the winger, was waiting on the line, and he just managed to block the ball and allow the goalkeeper to collect it. Kevin Hume with a well-directed header. Felgate was beaten, but Storer wasn't. Mark Seagraves, Stuart Storer. Brown's made a good run ahead of him. This is Seagraves. Phyllis Kirk. It's an awkward one for Kelly, who committed himself initially, then left it to Colin Greenall to deal with. A little bit of Bolton pressure building here. Phil Brown. Kelly's there again. Didn't risk catching it with Cunningham coming in. Knows all about the big centre forward. Just palmed it away for the corner kick. Brown and Seagraves are forward from the back. Steve Thompson will take it. Header away by Greenall. Thompson again. Brown suddenly with space. Good save by Kelly. Quickly down to deny Phil Brown. Seagraves clear. Cunningham. Comstiff. Bishop in the way. Parkinson. Robinson. Bishop venturing forward. He's away from Derby. Played into Sheeran. Onside. Good chance. Goalkeeper was quickly upon him. Stood up and made it difficult for Mike Sheeran. But having turned into space, he may have felt he'd done the difficult bit. Here's Robinson. Going on alone and getting the luck of the bounce. David Lee. Robinson's outside of him. Lee going alone. Wasn't a million miles away from Lee. He can strike them with either foot. He scored two brilliant goals against Grimsby in a match I saw at Gig Lane last month. One with the right, one with the left. And it's his goal scoring which has really improved this season. He's already got 16, the first time he's ever been in double figures. Thompson. Brown. Thompson was taken late that time by Mark Kearney. Bury haven't been slow to get their tackles in the middle of the field. Thompson a victim for a second time, and Kearney is also going to be shown the yellow card. It was late. Pass was well gone. Phil Brown with the free kick. Stuart Storer. Hung for Cunningham, who won it. Phyllis Kirk. Derby! Deflected behind for the corner. Good challenge by Mark Kearney. Just managed to get something in the way of Julian Derby's shot. Bolton have a corner kick. Comstiff to take it. Awkward one near post. Greenall dealt with it well. Bishop finding Robinson. Hooked out of the cul-de-sac. Beautifully set up by Phyllis Kirk. And there's the challenge by Kearney, which prevented the goal. Free kick goes Bolton's way. Brown in a hurry to take it. Kearney determined to delay him. Thompson will now take over. Seagrave's run was blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Valentine turned it away from Cunningham. To be a corner kick. Both sides were appealing for free kicks. Paul Comstiff will take it. Mark Seagraves, the centre-half, is on the near post. Phil Brown, the right-back, is on the edge of the 6-yard box. Phyllis Kirk's in there too. So too Cunningham arriving. Header away, forced back in by Derby. Might come for Phyllis Kirk! The third division's leading goal scorer scores the most important goal of Bolton's bid to get out of the third division. Number 28 of the season for Tony Phyllis Kirk has the Wanderers fans in ecstasy on the stroke of half-time. Poached the goal when it fell for him. Full marks to Julian Darby for setting him up, and full marks to Phyllis Kirk for whipping it past Kelly. Darby was actually on the ground when he poked the ball forward to the number 10, Phyllis Kirk. That was his first attempt, and there's his second, and Phyllis Kirk reacted so quickly. It's the last action of the first half, in which Bolton have certainly had the greater share of possession and territory. Up until that point, Bury might just have had the better chances. But Phyllis Kirk gives Wanderers the advantage at halfway. 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. It's 8.5 months since the great promotion race started. It's coming to an end for one of these two teams tonight. There are various tiebreakers looming. Extra time will be played before the away goals rule is used. And if that can't separate them, penalties will. But Bury have to score to force that upon us. Bolton have the advantage and have the ball with their skipper, Phil Brown. Mark Seagraves. Headed down by Greenall. Helped on its way by Stanislaus. Seagraves again. Thompson. Compstiff. Bury, the only team who've beaten Bolton at Burnden Park this year. In fact, since Coventry won our Rumbelows Cup tie here 7 months ago. Cunningham. Bishop back to his goalkeeper. That's been the recent trend in this derby fixture. Bury have been beaten just once in more than 20 years. Here's Liam Robinson. Kevin Hume flicking it on. Cowdrell again, equal to the test. Lee. Bishop. Way by Stubbs, only as far as Robinson, who almost fell for Parkinson. Robinson again. Seagraves performing manful heroics in the very cause. Shot from Parkinson. And they just managed to keep them at arm's length. Mark Seagraves did some good defending for Bolton there, and in the end Parkinson's shot was comfortably saved. Phyllis Kirk. Comstiff. Bishop recovered quickly. And he's got his goal kick. He's given his start in the game by Graham Taylor, Charlie Bishop. He was on Watford's books initially. Moved to Bury 4 years ago. Stanislaus. When Siren has slipped Seagraves this time, he's got Robinson in support. He's pulled it back for Hume. Blocked on the line. Sheeran couldn't force it in. Seagraves made the important challenge. But Bolton were undone there for a moment. And the Bury players were almost falling over each other to try and make the chance. Hume made it his shot. Stopped on the line, I think, by Cowdrell and then by Seagraves. Felgate holding on. Corner guided in a little bit too close to the goalkeeper from the Bury point of view. Official attendance at Burnden Park tonight is 19,198, and that's the biggest gate they've had for a Bolton game on this ground for over 10 years, since the third round FA Cup tie against Nottingham Forest back in 1981. Header away by Stubbs. Throw in which Leah Robinson takes. Cowdrell quickly upon Lee again. Lee's got his free kick though this time. Certainly in the second half of the first leg at Gig Lane on Sunday, the Bury manager Mike Walsh felt that they didn't give Lee enough service. They've almost tried too hard to get the ball quickly to him tonight, and the quality of the service has been lacking as a result. Kearney though with the free kick. Flick header from Greenall, could save David Felgate. Colin Greenall got the touch, and I think it was just looping under the crossbar. It certainly needed the save. Mike Walsh's team held at bay again. Just a little touch from Greenall, and Felgate quickly adjusted. Berry corner, which Liam Robinson takes. Valentine arriving at the far side. It's come off Cunningham. It'll be another corner. Nerve ends now must be raw inside that penalty area. Lee will take this corner. In towards Kearney this time. He had a little bit of space. Stubbs eventually got to him. Another corner awarded. Lee's corner. Header this time, an important one by Comstiff. Sheeran trying to set something up. Tried the volley, charged down by Comstiff. Half-hearted appeals for handball. David Lee. Trying his luck on the left this time. He's won another corner. Very pressure growing. Big test is for Bolton Wanderers. The whole issue coming to the boil. Important headed by Comstiff. Parkinson losing out to Thompson. Bolton with a chance of a break. Stanislaus denying them that. Lee again. Brown sharply in. Lee winning it back. Ball running away from Parkinson. It'll be a Bolton throw. They came through a very tense period there, did the Wanderers. Berry examining them fully with a series of corner kicks, showing that there's still life in their challenge yet. But the clock is against them. 14 minutes remaining. On his, Robinson popping up inside the box, Felgate making the save and Stubbs thumping it away. But again, a good ball played behind the Bolton defence. And Liam Robinson with a diagonal run suddenly found himself in space and with shooting space. Stubbs in to deny them with the corner. It's been Berry's best concerted spell of the whole game, this. They've had a couple of clear chances in the game, but they've not penned Bolton in as they have done here for a period of 3 or 4 minutes. Valentine arriving far post, hooked away by Seagraves. Charlie Bishop. David Lee. Kearney calling for it outside him. Lee taking on Comstiff. Forced into the corner. Whipped in well for Mike Sheeran. Good control. Parkinson trying to take over. Another corner kick, this time conceded by Derby. Well, the outcome of this little spell of Berry pressure could decide the whole destiny of the match. Headed by Cunningham deep in defence. Robinson first to it. Steered in again. Felgate waiting. Hume in with a challenge and is penalised. And relief for Bolton. A free kick inside their own 6-yard box. Kevin Hume, an honest enough challenge, but jumping into the goalkeeper. He had his eye on the ball, but he made contact with Felgate. Brown, a good ball too for Storer. Now he's got goal side of Stanislaus. This time Cunningham's in there, but so too Valentine. Guided the ball at the stretch over his own crossbar with Tony Cunningham waiting. Bolton have to make do with the corner. It was a lovely ball to Storer, played him in behind Stanislaus, and a teasing cross. Valentine dealt with it so well. Kearney. High in towards Greenall, who's still forward, might drop for Hume. Cowdrell got a foot in. Stanislaus on the volley, took a deflection just wide. Well, just for a moment it seemed as if that last vital Bolton touch was going to carry the ball into the corner of the net. But it bounced kindly for the home team. Stanislaus with a shot which he didn't really get hold of, but a little touch, I think, off Julian Derby. So near yet so far. Berry corner. Lee takes it. Felgate punches. Phil Parkinson. David Lee again. Charged down by Comstiff. Calmly away by Brown. Steve Thompson. Tony Philliskirk. He's won the throw-in, has he? Indeed he has. It's a Bolton ball. It's the last minute. It may well be the last minute of Bury's season. Bolton, who picked up just 7 points from their first 9 games. Little encouragement for a promotion season back in October when they were next to bottom of the table. And ironically, it was a draw at Bury which started the 23-match unbeaten run, which hauled them up the table. 5 months without defeat. They finished the season strongly, unbeaten in their last 6, and time is almost up for Mike Walsh and Bury. Almost 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Cowdrill's throw. Headed by Greenall, it's another Bolton throw. Inching their way down the touchline, inching their way to the playoff final. Philliskirk, the scorer of the game's only goal. Denied though by Kearney. Seagraves has been a tower of strength for Bolton. David Lee, tackled by Thompson. He's had so precious few opportunities to show us what he can do tonight, Lee. Cowdrill's played him so well. Out by Derby that time. Bolton through and through, Julian Derby, supported the team from the terraces in his boyhood days. A really big night for him. Liam Robinson. Charlie Bishop going on. Bury's last chance maybe. Denied them though by Thompson. Philliskirk on the break. Storer to his right. Thompson to his left, and he's wasted it horribly. Kelly's clearance. Header on by Greenall. It's Bolton's night. They've taken the first big step towards claiming the second division place they feel they've already earned with the 28th goal of Tony Philliskirk's marvellous season. It's the first time they've made it to a playoff final in 3 attempts. It's only the second time they've beaten Bury in more than 20 years. And how that victory will be toasted in Bolton tonight as 25,000 or so of their fans prepare to go to Wembley in 10 days' time to see if Wanderers really are on the way back to the big time. It's been a big night at Burnden Park, and it's Bolton who go on to Wembley. The final score here, Bolton 1, Bury 0. Bolton winners 2-1 on aggregate.
All credit to the lads. I mean, especially defensively, we've fought a really good action in the second half, done absolutely fantastic. Well, I'm on about all credit to Bury. I mean, with everything that's happened to them this year, with all the players they've lost, all the revenue they've supposed to have lost and whatever, they've done absolutely fantastic to get to where they are. And to be brutally honest, I think maybe they were probably the best team on the night, but they missed a few chances and I managed to put the one away that come my way.
Yeah, I thought we were the best team, yeah. But sometimes the best team doesn't get what it deserves. We created chances, we didn't take them. We were slack only once all night in defence. And Philly's had a bit all season of scoring goals like that in the back post. It took it smashing.
Now, you've never been to Wembley. I know you've had a chance to go as a fan, haven't you?
That's right, yeah. Well, obviously supporting Sunderland. I had a chance in '85 when they got the Milk Cup against Norwich. I had the tickets, everything was ready to go, but then I vowed that I'd never ever go to Wembley until I played there. So, I mean, you know, for me it's great, you know, and I just can't wait to get there.
I had 8 years here. It's a great club. To say it's not a sleeping giant, because I don't know how many there's been tonight. There's been 20,000 here, and I think they can cheer them onto Wembley now, them fans.
I don't think I've seen you quite so emotional, even in your great days with Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's the tension of whatever and wanting it so badly. And I know I want it for them. I mean, I've had it as a player. I want it as much for them. And it's just one of those things that you put every ounce of energy into getting their needs, really, and your aims and the club's aims. And everybody's helped all along, my backroom staff, and everybody's pushed in the right direction, and the lads particularly, they've done it all. But I'm just pleased with them that some of them are going to Wembley for the first time. I was lucky enough to go there a few times. But I'm just pleased that some old stages, some young lads, everybody, I mean, can gain from that. They can gain from experience, and they're grown up together, and I'm just pleased with their attitude. It's by no mean feat they've got over beating Bury tonight, and I've got to say that I've just been into Mickey and said, look, I know it's no consolation, but well done, and they played in the right spirit, and I thought it was a tremendous game.
Onto his left foot, Hughes managed to knock it away from him and almost into Storer's path. This is Comstiff. Good cross, way by Garnett. Goal for Irons to clear. It could just as easily have fallen for David Reeves. Important clearance by Kenny Irons. Thompson. Hughes in well, Darby with a shot. Just had to hit and hope as the tackle came in. That was a dangerous moment for Tranmere. Really good cross, teaser from Paul Comstiff, beat Nixon, guarded away, and then Irons away. Waiting for Garnett to make the run outside of him. And now Garnett has found the space. It was worth the wait. Or was it? A lot of young players in the Tranmere side. Sean Garnett here is just 21. Jed Brannan and Tony Thomas still out there, both teenagers. Big challenge for them. The longer it goes, the bigger it gets. Cowdrop. Hit Thomas, might fall for Reeves. Higgins doing well again. Oh, he took along a little bit too much though, Dave Higgins. He felt he was pushed, but deep down he'll wonder whether he shouldn't just have belted that away, having won it well in the first place. Steve Thompson will take the corner. Headed away by Garnett. Darby trying to get in there. Handball appeals a little bit optimistic. Higgins tidying up this time. Thomas finding Morrissey. Brannan's made a run ahead of him, and Jed Brannan is onside. Great chance here for Jed Brannan. Saved by Felgate. What an opportunity for Malkin. He's done it! It had to be Malkin, didn't it? 8 minutes to the first period of extra time gone, and Chris Malkin gives Tranmere Rovers the lead. Jed Brannan, whose goal got Tranmere to Wembley, made the initial incursion into the Bolton penalty area. Felgate stopped him with his feet, but Malkin took his time and drove it through a posse of players into the corner of the net. Chris Malkin puts Tranmere Rovers on the verge of second division football. David Reeves. Scott Green. Reeves was held back there by Higgins. An infringement well spotted by the linesman Colin Jones. Thompson with a free kick. Philliskirk's in there. Straight at Nixon though. Captain trying to look calm. He was certainly well positioned. Philliskirk couldn't direct it beyond him. Hughes caught in two lines and his foot was high and he caught Reeves and he's conceded a free kick. Ouch. Oof. Right on the chin, wasn't it? Dry throat. Even for a man of his experience, these are difficult moments. David Reeves will toil on bravely. We'll shake of the hands with Mark Hughes. That's nice to see at this stage of affairs. But Bolton have a free kick in a menacing position. Thompson takes it. Reeves is in there. Reeves is still in there, but he just couldn't quite make it. Higgins knocked it behind for the corner, but it was Garnett who did the heroic defending inside the 6-yard box. In fact, it's Steve Cooper who's back there. It's Tranmere's main striker who was back as last man. Oh, just did enough. Bolton corner. Headed away by Thomas. Shot from Brown! Julian Darby almost touched it in. Phil Brown so close to providing a captain's equaliser. Struck it so sweetly. No question of offside against Darby, because he's the man who almost got the touch there. No way through for Brown. No way back for Bolton as yet. 6 more minutes. Cowdrill. Green. Good play by Scott Green. Thompson. Seagraves. Philliskirk. Good header by Jed Brannan. Cowdrill's run it back. Reeves. Brown has got shooting space again. Now, will he be lucky this time? Will force a little bit wider. Darby. Philliskirk. Seagraves is still forward. Headed by Irons. Back in by Brown. Headed by Garnett. Then by Higgins. Cowdrill with a shot! That would have been some story, wouldn't it? 34-year-old Barry Cowdrill trying to blast Bolton back into the game. It really was a thunderous strike, but it was always flying wide of the mark after that agonising bout of head tennis had set him up. They've done it. There's a third major force in Merseyside football. Tranmere Rovers are promoted to the second division for only the second time in their history on the back of a goal from substitute Chris Malkin. Their turn has come, and Everton and Liverpool had better watch out. The Wembley tears of 12 months ago, the Wembley tears of 6 days ago, are replaced by smiles as wide as the Mersey Tunnel. And for the first time in over half a century, Tranmere Rovers will play in the second division. Johnny King, their victorious manager, is with Robert McCaffrey.
Johnny, they made you wait a long while for that, didn't they?
Oh, what a wonderful game of football for the fans. But we've opened that door, you know, and we've gone through it today. And the lads, you can't be more proud than for a manager, you know, what I've seen there today. They've given blood. And of course, the goal took a long time coming, but when it did come, it was sweet.
It was fitting that Chris Malkin could score. It hit the bar, had one disallowed.
Well, you've seen Steely come off with a bad injury, and Malkin's come on and he's worked and he's got himself 4 or 5 great chances. But anyway, he's got the winner for us, and it was sweet. Beautiful.
Is that your greatest moment in football?
It's got to be. Oh, it makes you fill up, you know, because we've done it for Merseyside. Wonderful.
Johnny, many congratulations.
Thank you again.
It'll be a goalkeeper, Eric Nixon, shades of Dave Besant in 1988, who'll collect the 2-foot-high silver standard from the Barclays Bank executive Jeff Miller. But it's not the trophy, it's the reward. It was here at Wembley that they announced their intentions by beating Wimbledon and Newcastle and holding Nottingham Forest in a centenary celebration. 3 years on, they have a Leyland Duff Cup and now 2 promotions to celebrate. It's second division football for Tranmere Rovers. coming up after the break, another heart-stopping playoff story. Last night's dramas here at Wembley that broke the hearts of every Blackpool fan. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to this Granada soccer special from the Wembley playoffs, where last night it was Blackpool's turn. Robert McCaffrey followed them to their 4th Division showdown with Torquay United.
4 hours before kick-off in South Kensington, and Blackpool boss Billy Ayre took an afternoon stroll to clear the mind. The men from the seaside had come to the big city to stake a claim for 3rd Division football next season.
We couldn't have prepared any better, whether it's the right preparation that we'll know tonight.
What's all this walking out by yourself? Nice little stroll?
I'm a bit of a loner at the best of times, people will tell you. It's just a time to get my head together, get a few thoughts together prior to the team meeting tonight, and just basically be on my own and just think things over.
The name Dave Bamber doesn't quite register the same reverential respect as Stanley Matthews. He'd been out for 6 weeks, but the big centre-forward still registered 17 goals, more than any other Blackpool player this season.
Not worried. I'm more looking forward to the game than worried about it. Obviously, a little bit apprehensive about the fitness side of the game and the fact that I've not played for 6 weeks. But I mean, what an atmosphere, what a place to play. You know, if you can't play anywhere.
You've never played here before?
No, never. It makes you realise perhaps what you missed by not quite getting to the top of your profession, because I mean, this is just different class.
Minutes before kick-off in a Wembley dressing room, time to relax, time to concentrate, and time to earn a place in Division 3.
Right, hung for Bamber, and he got in front of Elliott, and he's forced it forward for Taylor, and Saunders has to come across, and that's a corner kick to Blackpool. Mark Taylor looking to feed off the towering figure of Dave Bamber. Blackpool have Ian Gore forward from the back for this corner. Cleared comfortably though by Mickey Holmes. Right, here's Rodwell. Taylor has drawn wide. Made a little bit of space for himself here, Mark Taylor. A little bit of space for Paul Groves. And Blackpool in front. 7 minutes gone. First blood to Blackpool. A goal for Paul Groves. Well, they've taken the game to Torquay United from the very first whistle. Taylor it was who was allowed to create the space, and Groves it was who was allowed to slip into the penalty area. His shot beyond Howells, and Blackpool take the lead. Flicked on by Evans. Here's Edwards. Forced the challenge and the corner kick of Phil Horner. Saunders is forward from the back again, as indeed is Matthew Elliott. Number 5, who scored a vital last-minute goal against Burnley in the semi-finals. It's aimed towards Saunders, though, turned away by Gore. Joyce trying to retrieve the situation. Loram. That's a good cross. Saunders is in there! And Wes Saunders has equalised for Torquay. Sporting the scars of battle, Wes Saunders, the Torquay captain, equalises after 28 minutes. Chris Curran will take the free kick for Torquay. Header away by Groves, is a firm one. Space here though for Paul Holmes, and plenty of support if he can get a cross in. Charged down by Bamber, appeals for a penalty. And Dave Bamber absolutely aghast as George Corney points to the spot. Holmes' cross, charged down by Bamber. Now, was there intent here by the big man? That's the key thing. He certainly caught it with his right arm, but it looked a harsh one.
It'll be Dean Edwards, it'll be Torquay 2, Blackpool 1. 8 minutes of the first half remaining, and Torquay go in front through a very controversial Dean Edwards penalty. Joy for John Impey and co. But Dave Bamber very unfortunate to be penalised. Edwards sending McAlargy the wrong way, and Torquay United are in front.
Dave, what do you make of the penalty? Just tried to block the cross and he's just hit my arm, you know. It's no deliberate intent, it's just a joke.
Myers rather jumping into Bamber. Blackpool have the free kick. Into the final quarter. Davis in towards Bamber. Attempted overhead by Ayres, hit the crossbar, might still go in, it has! In off Chris Curran, the fullback. Blackpool level. Happy Seasiders fans, a dejected goalkeeper, but Blackpool have really worked hard for that equaliser. It was almost a spectacular goal by David Ayres, great overhead kick, but as it hit the crossbar and came down, Chris Curran, in his attempt to hook it clear, sliced it into his own goal. 69 minutes gone, it's all square. Good ball from Groves. Taylor peeling away into space. Bamber waiting on the edge of the 6-yard box, knocked away by Elliott, only as far as Rodwell. Davis now for Blackpool. Oh, it opened up for him there, tried his luck, bounced off Saunders and in by Bamber! No offside. Goal disallowed. Disappointment again for Dave Bamber. Linesman Gareth Davis raises the flag that catches Dave Bamber offside. Driven into Loram, flicked on, it's come for Elliott, great save by McAlargy, Evans is in there, smuggled off the line by Groves. What an escape for Blackpool. How did that stay out, asked Matthew Elliott. Well, it was a combination of great goalkeeping and defiant defending. Superb stop by McAlargy, and then his defenders got back on the line, and Groves, facing his goal, managed to turn it over the crossbar. And would you believe it, the goalkeeper is going to take the next one. It's going to be Gareth Howells, the Torquay goalkeeper. Beats his opposite number. You can hardly believe that these players have got to go through this at this stage of the season, but ironically in the week when Europe's most prestigious club game was settled on penalties, it's all on again. Bamber, oh, dreadfully wide. What a disaster for Dave Bamber. Torquay United's long wait is over. Blackpool, who might easily have been crowned champions on the closing Saturday of the regular season, are condemned to another year in Division 4.
Have you had a worse moment in football than this?
I've never had a worse moment in my life, football.
A dramatic conclusion to another dramatic season for North West football. Congratulations to Tranmere and our other winners, Manchester United, Oldham Athletic and Stockport County. Soccer Special and Soccer Night will be back on your screens next season. Goodbye.
Without him, but now he's here. I'm delighted to welcome back not only the entire kick-off team, but especially the leader of the pack, Elton Welsby. Elton.
I have been doing bowls over the past few days, you know.
I know, from Ellesmere Port.
But
it's not the same. This is football.
But all the guys and gals who work at the Woodland Hotel in Ellesmere Port have sent you something, Bob.
Oh dear,
just to let you know how much, what they think of you. It is a big ham.
A big ham.
A big ham.
Well, it's not going to Joe Royal at Oldham. I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Isn't that a beauty?
Amazing.
There's
Thank
a
you.
condition.
The woodlands, whatever.
There's a condition. Stuart must have at least a little slice of it. Let's get out of business, the very serious, big business of football. Over £50 million changed hands in transfer fees in the close season. It would have been more if Don Mackay had had his way. Even still, the North West led the way. Here's Rob McCaffrey.
It's a footballing version of The Price is Right. £2.9 million persuaded Dean Saunders to come on down to Anfield. Saunders and Rush for club and country. Liverpool, the North West's biggest spenders. Mark Wright's an Englishman looking to help Liverpool abroad. Wright heading the new European challenge. Graham Souness had signed Mark Walters for Rangers. They're together again, getting in on the Anfield Old Pals Act. Peter Beardsley became an Anfield old boy during the summer. Everton didn't really need to check his credentials. They've seen enough of him down the years to last a lifetime. The new summer sports called Follow Your Manager. Mark Ward followed Howard Kendall to City and now to Everton. Paul Parker followed Danish keeper Peter Schmeichel along to Old Trafford. The big Manchester money's been splashed on defence. Keith Curls made City dig deep in their coffers. He's the new captain. What price an England cap? And what price experience? Graham Sharp jumped aboard the gravy train departing from Goodison, destination Oldham.
Sharp. Oh my goodness!
Mike Milligan bought a similar ticket, though Milligan's going home to a Boundary Park recently put out to grass. John Aldridge has found Tranmere via Sociedad in Spain. He found the net against his old club this week, leaving plenty of red faces. Blackburn have the money and the desire to spend it. Steve Agnew's been tempted. Their chequebook is still very much open.
Well, of course, Blackburn hoped that Steve Agnew would have been the first of many. As it turned out, it was the first of three. They actually signed Liverpool's David Speedie this week to make it three. The club has a fortune to spend. They tried to get Gary Lineker for £2 million, but Tottenham said no. They got negative vibes when they went back to Spurs for Paul Stewart. They agreed terms with Millwall for Teddy Sheringham, but Sheringham said no to a £2 million transfer. As I understand it, wages of something like £4,000 a week, which seems to be the going rate now for £2 million signings. Don, have I missed anybody out?
Well, there's quite a few, and some we don't speak about. Some we keep very quiet to ourselves. But Newell at Everton was another one we tried to get hold of. So
has it been a case of fashionable players not wanting to go to what they consider to be an unfashionable club?
It's not the club, it's the second division. It really frightens them, the second division, because it's such a competitive league. It's the hardest league of the four. I've always said that, and I'm quite sure the lads would agree with me on that. Hasn't got the same stage, hasn't got the same euphoria attached to it as Manchester United, Everton, Liverpool, Tottenham. It's Barnsley, Plymouth, Millwall. Very hard places to go and very hard places to get points from as well.
Was it a big relief for you then to get a glamorous player in David Speedie this week?
Well, a lot of people debate about being glamorous. I mean, yeah, he's a very good player. He'll be a good acquisition.
I think you played for Liverpool. You can be termed glamorous.
He's a Scotsman. He's a Scotsman from Yorkshire.
That's what it was. But what's he going to give you? Obviously a bit of bite, but what else?
Experience. He's got good experience with Chelsea, with Liverpool, with Cardiff City, and he's done very, very well for these teams, and he'll do well for us as well.
Where's all this money coming from, Don?
Well, Jack Walker, as simple as that. Mr. Walker has a desire to see Blackburn Rovers in the first division, as we all have.
Is there more to come? Is there a ceiling on what you can spend?
No, there's no ceiling on it at all.
Really?
It's what I want to do, and if I can get the players to come in, I'm trying to convince them that the second division is the place to come to. But it is very difficult. The stage is just not there. That is the major problem.
Is it the next question is obvious then, isn't it? Is it a pull out all the stops attempt to get into what looks like being the Premier League next season? Of course, today's news that the First Division clubs have actually resigned from the league. Is that Mr. Walker's primary objective, to be a part of the big scene next season?
It's Blackburn Rovers' objective to be part of the big scene all the time. We've always had that objective. The one thing that has changed now is there's money there to back up what I think will be good players to come to Blackburn Rovers. I've not promised things to people. People say I have, I haven't. We just try to get good players, but The big problem is the stage. Is it big enough for some of them? And I think that is a big problem with it. It's a very, very difficult league. It's
well, you've got
hard
3 good players. The onus now on you to get it right and make it work, isn't it?
Onus has always been on the manager. It's always been on the manager to get it right. And I'm very confident in the lads. I'm confident in the boys we have there. We've got young players coming through as well. That mustn't be forgotten. We've signed on 4 young YTS lads as well, who are every bit, I hope, will be every bit as good as the ones I've signed on for a lot of money.
We wish you very well, because it would be lovely to have 6 North West clubs in the Premier League next season. Thanks for the moment, Don. Well, Don and Blackburn do know the pain of just missing out on promotion at the end of the season. It actually happened to them 3 years on the trot. But no one in the North West felt that sort of pain more acutely last season than Blackpool and their top scorer, Dave Bamber. Here's Rob again.
Blackpool's luck changed the day Dave Bamber's luck changed, the day he had his fortune read by gypsy Leah Petrolengro back in April.
I want basically to know whether we're going to get promoted this year.
Oh, you'll definitely get promoted. As I said, this next 12 months is going to be outstanding for good luck.
Not the case. In the playoff final at Wembley against Torquay, Bamber's luck went from bad to worse.
And Dave Bamber absolutely aghast as George Corney points to the spot.
In the second half, a goal that would have clinched promotion was disallowed for offside.
Offside! Disappointment again for Dave Bamber.
By the penalty shootout, it wasn't his night.
Bamber, oh, dreadfully wide.
If I could have just walked in, then it would have been all right, but we had to sit around and then go up and shake somebody's hand and walk back down. And, you know, it seemed to be a lot on my shoulders at the time, like it was difficult. From a personal point of view, and also from the whole town type thing, you know, that everything had been built up for us to do it, and that was one kick of a ball that separated it, really.
Bamber scored 17 goals in as many games last season, and a boost in fortune might just boost that total. Blackpool are the bookies' favourites to go straight up this time round. I'm sure that I'll get plenty of chances, touch wood, if I stay fit, and it'll just be a question of converting them chances into goals. No more gypsies then? No, I think we're not that in the header.
Well, as Rob said, and I'm sure Dave Bamber would like to know, that Blackpool are firmly installed as 6-1 favourites to win the 4th Division Championship. And for those of you who like a bit of a flutter, here's the betting on the big boys. Liverpool favourites 13-8, followed by Arsenal. Manchester United 8-1. Everton, they look pretty good value there at 18-1. And how about for a few long odds, 80-1 for Joe Royal's newcomers. Well, tomorrow, Oldham have got their own newcomer, Glyn Snowden, making his debut at Liverpool in place of the very unlucky Andy Barlow, who could be out for a long time with knee ligament damage. They got Snowden on loan from Leeds to cover for Barlow at the last minute. Well, that's it. Good luck to all concerned. The season's going to be a long, hard slog, but we do hope, Bob, that it will be a very enjoyable one for everybody.
I'm taking the short slog over. Indeed, Don. Now, you've been talking about the 2nd Division and Blackburn. We've just seen those odds. What's your tip for the league champions? Is it going to be Liverpool again, or have you got a secret?
They won't be far away, Liverpool, but I'd put a little flutter on Leeds United.
Leeds United? Yeah. I wouldn't argue with that, actually. Saw them a lot last season.
You joined the Granada Sports Team.
I have joined the Granada Sports Team, Elton, not for the first time, but the first time in a long time, because I shall be presenting, as you know, the new Granada Goals Extra programme at 5:10 every Saturday night. Lots of goals tomorrow, all the main games and lots of the other games in all the divisions.
Let's hope Dom dominates that programme tomorrow.
And every week in the season.
We'll be on every week.
Lucy,
every week.
10 past 5 every Saturday. Thank you.